a meal deal at McDonald's.
Huddle up, stay fit, and fuel your fandom. Enjoy the home field advantage at Fairfield, official hotel partner of the NCAA.
USAA for the military community and their families.
Cut. Sam, I really need to feel that USAA service. Gronkier.
Grunkier. USAA. You could be eligible if your spouse, parent, or even your grandparents served.
That was it. You're in.
As a veteran, I'm already in. You? I wouldn't get your hopes up, son. USAA, are you eligible?
I'm not alone on this mountain. I've got friends, teammates, and some doubters too. That's okay. Don't let the world tell you who you are.
Alabama breaks Georgia hearts. Georgia is going to conquer the Crimson Tide. Bama claiming the SEC title.
A new chapter unfolds. Go! Top 5 Georgia and Alabama in the biggest game of the year.
Today is about us and how we play. Adversity will come. It's time to cut it loose.
Number 2 Georgia at number 4 Alabama. Tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC.
But I still got that old time feeling for you. We had a love, yes we did.
Welcome back to Topgolf.
I'm Bertie Baker.
And I'm Chaz Mulligan. Time for an instant replay.
Carl Johnson just grabbed Topgolf's new club, the Sure Thing.
To the Chazistrator.
It's got a lot of features like a gigantic club face and more loft, which helps send your ball flying.
Wow, look at that swing.
And remember, you can only try, not buy this club at Topgolf.
I was just calling to see if you're free to run away with me.
January 8th, 2018, Atlanta. As Nick Saban's teams ruled the sport and Kirby Smart's program arrived as Bama's biggest threat, the college football world wondered aloud. How great would it be when they finally met on the biggest possible stage? The answer? The most dramatic moment that stage has ever seen.
And it is caught! A beautiful throw, a clutch catch, and Alabama is the national champion.
Our pal Sean McDonough that night on ESPN Radio as Alabama won the national championship and claimed the College Football Playoff National Championship trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. That will be awarded to the winner of the new expanded playoff, the 12-team playoff, which gets things started. Onset on December 20th. Kalen DeBoer now in charge of the Crimson Tide. We've said earlier that won the job, he's won the team. Everybody within the building knows that he's the head coach. But tonight, on this stage, it takes one of these in which he probably, to the rest of the college football world, officially becomes the head coach at Alabama. We're delighted to be joined by Kalen DeBoer. Great success. Games against ranked opponents. I want everybody to just take a moment and soak in this shot. Kalen DeBoer, Nick Saban, side by side. The transition has really been something. Kalen, what's the most significant conversation or interaction that the two of you have had since you took over here?
Well, I think it was probably the morning of everything happening, and I just think that conversation that I had with Coach, just feeling, just feeling how he felt about things, and knowing that I kind of had a kind of peace in my heart that the transition would be smooth, and that I'd have the grace from him to be able to go and be able to take over and still be able to embrace everything that he's done for this program.
What's it been like to you, Nick?
Well, I appreciate the fact that I think Kalen has done a fantastic job in transition, which is not easy when you take over a successful program. But, you know, he respects the tradition here. He honored the success that we had, but actually put the program and the stamp on the program relative to how he wanted to do it. And the players have really bought into it, and I think it's reflective in the way they played this year.
What was it like standing in front of that room when they're used to hearing his style and his culture and his process? And I'm sure the guys, as much as they now love you, they first were probably a little bit like, let's figure how are we going to learn who this guy is? What was that like, try to change and just be you and not try to be him?
Yeah, I knew that coming in that Friday night, meeting with those guys, I knew it would be dead quiet, them having a lot of questions. There was a lot of emotions and things that they were going through. And it was just to try to meet them where they were at the time, you know, and just really try to, again, I use the word embrace a lot, but that's really what it was all about.
But the real advantage you had is they were really tired of my ass.
After becoming the GOAT, and Coach DeBoer, I think after getting to know you for the last few years, and I think everybody else that has known you for the past couple of decades would say you were the perfect guy to take over for the GOAT. You know, very confident in yourself, very comfortable football guy. And I'm a massive fan. You're the best. Let's talk about tonight's game. Georgia obviously struggles against Kentucky 2 weeks ago. Kentucky might be an incredible football team when it's all said and done. We don't know. You both are coming off bye weeks. How much development do you think Georgia's going to have, and how much development has your team had over the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I would assume there's some of both, because you kind of, after 3 weeks, you've been through just enough to kind of understand who you are and the things you got to work on. And I think for us, there's been some things the last week and a half, 2 weeks that we've really focused on in all areas. And, you know, I think, you know, as strong as Georgia is in a lot of areas, that's still the case, I think, for them. You know, they want to put more points on the board, but their defense is super strong. And I just know that they're going to come out with everything they got. And, you know, for us, we've had a couple good weeks of prep, too.
Hell yeah.
Coach, there's a lot of talk about your quarterback, Jalen Milroe, your wideout, Ryan Williams. Who's a guy who you think in tonight's game could become an unsung hero that no one's really talking about?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's going to be important for our defensive side to continue to do their thing. They've been solid, yep. But again, I think that's where you're going to see a lot of the challenges that maybe they haven't had in the first 3 games. You know, presented differently from Georgia, from a physicality standpoint in particular, and how that could open up the rest of their game. So I think defensively as a whole, and that, you know, starts up front, which we have a lot of veterans there. As you move back to the back half, we're a little more youthful, but they've done a nice job through 3 games.
As a head coach, people see you now as a head coach, but you came up as an offensive guy, offensive coordinator. Everyone assumed on the outside, okay, he's had Michael Penix last year and all those great receivers, and Milroe was very talented at moving around in kind of a dual threat way with what they did the last year. What was the approach when you guys got together and adjusted the scheme to what he does well and what your current team does well?
Yeah, you know, the question's been asked, how much of the offense is in? Well, there's so much offense when you've done it for 20-plus years, and so it's a matter of picking the pieces that fit our personnel. And, you know, it's fun working with a guy like Jalen, you know, and it's tricky in the same time because you're trying to balance the strengths of him and what he brings that's different than anyone else in the country at the quarterback position with what we will still want to do and making sure we can distribute the ball through the passing game to all our skill guys on the outside.
Yeah. This guy's coached 119 games. He's won 107 of them.
He's been a winner everywhere.
Pretty good. Hey, pretty good. How many times do you do this around here? You need to start doing that, Coach. I don't know how Tom. It's awesome. It hits every time.
You're making me nervous, man.
Pat, it's the follow through.
Yeah, you got to let him know you're there with him. You know, you got to meet him halfway.
Those are some of the old traditions. You brought some new ones too. Tell us a little bit about how you try to bring kids into the program on Friday and get them in front of the team and show them some different things and make some connections.
Well, yeah, I know that Coach has done a lot of those things with kids and having them around and access to our players. But there are just some things that I've done over the years, and I know it's been highlighted, but you know, every Friday we call it Tide Teammates, and it's just someone who's really battling, showing a lot of courage and fight, and we get to celebrate who they are, and we get to give them a great time here with our team.
That's beautiful.
That's the thing that both of you have done extraordinarily well in connecting with different people. But Alabama, Georgia, can be different. I mean, as we wrap this up, you have any final words, maybe some words of wisdom from your experience in this type of matchup that you can give to him?
Well, I just think that I'd like to know one thing in the young season, first-year coach, what has been the most significant thing you've learned about your team that is going to be helpful moving forward?
Yeah, I think I'm very confident in our consistent preparation. And preparation throughout the week, it isn't just what happens on Saturday, leads us to a confidence that's within, that's real. And, I believe in that. I love the way, and I've learned that our upperclassmen, which are scattered throughout the team, have done a great job of bringing the youth along, knowing the importance that they have, and helping them get ready for Saturday and game day and being confident there.
So many demands on coaches, though. I mean, I would think, Nick, that tickets can be an issue sometimes, and who you choose to spread the tickets out to.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot more distractions when you play at home than
have you had any experience relative to the Georgia game, particularly with maybe someone who wanted tickets from you?
Yeah, there was I really got appreciation for the fan experience because I have a home in Georgia at Lake Burton. So this guy, Tony Sutton, would take me fishing. And this guy would have 2 Budweisers and 2 cigarettes at 6 o'clock in the morning.
My God!
And he says to me, I'm the biggest Bulldog fan in the world, but I've never been able to go to a game. And that was the year we were playing the blackout game over in Georgia. And I said, well, I'll get you tickets, Tony, to the game, but you're going to sit in the Alabama section. You can't dress up like a Georgia fan. So he comes to the game in black pants, painted black with the big red G on them. So that's the game we got ahead like 31-0 or something at halftime. So Tony gets in a fight at halftime. Sticks a guy in the tuba because he's sitting right behind the band.
Okay.
And then when the police come to arrest him and escort him out, he says, you can't take me out of here. Coach Saban gave me this.
Perfect. Hey, don't bring any guys to the game that are going to be stuffing heads in tubas.
Although you want to roll with some guys who can stuff people with tubas, too.
And smoke 2 cigarettes at the same time. You need those guys every once in a while.
Gavin, thanks a lot. Best of luck to you tonight. Gavin DeBoer, head coach of the Crimson Tide. On a really fun morning here in Tuscaloosa. Check in on this week's Home Depot Doer of the Week. It's Randy Dean, CBI Construction Services. Randy apparently came from Gilbert, Arizona. They're coming from all over in this game. In the SEC, quarterback carousel. Some are good problems, some not so much. Especially at Oklahoma and Auburn, who square off against each other today. What impact did that have? And what happens in Vegas might have ramifications and fallout for the rest of college football. Forget about it staying in Vegas.
College Game Day is brought to you by Geico. Check out College Game Day on social to get more fan cam action.
The truth about DIY is you never really do it all by yourself.
Because this setup took 2 videos and a quick demo. You can change your color here. And all of this started here, detoured here, and ended
down here.
And this pizza wasn't delivery. This was.
I wonder if they do have it.
We do. So whenever you start a project,
don't worry.
You're not alone.
We can do this together.
So what are you working on?
At Papa John's, we start with better. Like our fresh, never frozen dough made from 6 simple ingredients. And our dough can save you dough. Get 2 or more Papa Pairings favorites for just $6.99 each. Order now on the app from Papa John's.
Ion. Electrified. Hungok Tire.
Watching my special, aren't you?
No. I just got this great NFL offer. Guaranteed, all up front. And this one's going to be hard to pass up.
Breaking news. LeBron James has a guaranteed NFL offer. He says it's, quote, going to be hard to pass up.
Seriously? Ooh, somebody got to call a plumber, because you got a leak.
With DraftKings, new customers turn $5 into $200 instantly in bonus bets. The crown is yours.
Open your eyes. You deserve
deserve better from your phone service. At Total Wireless, we're fixing that. No more hidden fees. No more surprises on your bill. You deserve to get it all, and that's exactly what we'll give you. Find your local store at TotalWireless.com.
All right, Tina, 6 is hard to beat.
Not for us.
Okay, not soccer, but...
Football.
Yes. We honeymooned here.
Mallorca.
Yes. Pass.
No, we don't pass, Tina. Come on.
They help give you more.
A tax professional.
And they have a 97% satisfaction rating.
Salami.
You could have done it in a British accent.
That's helpful, Randy.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
El Derby de Madrid on ESPN Plus.
El Derby promises drama, an element of chaos.
Sunday, Atlético de Madrid, Real Madrid on ESPN Plus.
Our daily serving of fun is refreshing fruit that keeps us going. Sweet.
Dole Fruit Bowl snacks. Fruit your way.
I've tried to do everything to get myself to lose weight, between diet, exercise, and just life happens. This shirt was tight on me, and now it's loose. I feel incredible.
TriSculpt uses micro-laser technology to remove your diet-resistant fat cells permanently. And for a limited time, take advantage of our biggest savings of the year.
This stubborn belly fat is called stubborn belly fat for a reason. They remove all that belly fat.
Call or go to TriSculpt.com to get a free consultation.
Feel good, look good, it's awesome.
Cue the music!
Don't eat the Goobler, feel good.
Bite my shiny metal.
That's nasty.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, celebrating the challenge of road games everywhere. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear is more driven. As Lee Corso said, top of the show, that is the site of Georgia's last true road loss. There is Old Crimson, 308 consecutive college game day appearances. And I'm going to tell you, Cougs are beating. Big one tonight. Taking on Boise State on the blue. Buffalo Wild Wings weekend menu. That big old Buffalo in there. And these are some of the games we'll be watching. Maryland, Indiana might come up later on, I'm told, on a Superdog. And Fresno State at UNLV, which has had a remarkable and weird story this week, as Pete Thamel joins us for the Matthew Sluka saga. Pete.
Reese, Matthew Sluka's shocking decision to walk away from UNLV at 3-0 as the school's starting quarterback comes down to a classic case of he said. Sluka and his agents claim that a UNLV assistant coach made a verbal offer of $100,000 that the school never came through on. The school claims that Sluka and his camp made, quote, financial demands, end quote, that would have violated NCAA rules. Reith, the truth is we're never really going to get clarity on that. What we know going forward is Sluka's going to work out with a private quarterback trainer. He's going to hop in the portal, and he'll have a new destination come December. UNLV faces perhaps the most significant two-game stretch in recent school history. They have Fresno today. Haj Malik Williams, a Campbell transfer, will take over as the Rebels' starting quarterback, and we'll see if they can continue their road for the playoff.
Pete, this is almost unbelievable, except for the fact that everybody involved in this say that they're surprised it hasn't happened sooner. You just walked away from this world where the NIL has changed and players are recruited differently. What's your reaction to this, a quarterback leaving an undefeated team?
Well, first of all, we don't have a manageable system in college football. I'm not opposed at all to players making money. In fact, I think they deserve that. But 100%. The way we're giving them money now, name, image, and likeness is really not name, image, and likeness. That's supposed to be for a marketing opportunity, which I think is a good thing. But we've turned it into pay for play because we have donor-raised funds to be able to pay people. So that system does not create value long-term for players. You're supposed to go to college to create value for your future. Now we have guys making decisions about how much money they're going to make, which I'm not sure that's what we want the college experience to be. So I think there can be a revenue share type of program in the future that would enhance the players' quality of life while they're going to school. They would be able to make money, and they would still have name, image, and likeness opportunities that were legitimate marketing opportunities. And I think that this is a situation where you're going to see more consequences like this in the future. Guys get in the portal, they don't get an opportunity, they lose their scholarship, and then guys don't get what they're promised. And the players don't really have any protection from agents that they should have in terms of their representation. They should be represented in a very positive way, and there's no system for that in college athletics right now.
It seems like, Coach, everybody on this desk, everybody probably watching, I think we've all gotten to the point where we realize players deserve NIL money. Bryce Young is here, and he makes a name for himself. He can go out and create some revenue, more power to him. But it's the collectives and it's the bribing of players to come to a school and the third parties that come in. The concern and the question I have for you, we don't have a CBA, collective bargaining agreement. If we could, somebody's got to represent the players. Somebody's got to represent college football. We don't have one commissioner. We've got several conference commissioners. We have no guidelines. We have no player contracts. There's third-party negotiators getting involved that are not always out for the players' best interests and aren't always communicating things that are real. It's on a collision course for chaos. How do we fix this before it's too late?
Well, I actually think there needs to be some kind of federal legislation. Right now we have, every state has a different law about how you can manage, your college program. Yeah. But it's interstate, so it should be a national, program. And we have to have some kind of protection from litigation. I don't really think players should be employees, although I do think they should receive revenue for their efforts in playing. But I also think that we have to have a system that still emphasizes education. When these guys transfer, they have about a 20% less chance of graduating. And we've got guys transferring 3 or 4 times. So we're going to have some really upsetting consequences of this down the road when we lose the fact that we're not graduating players and they're not creating value for the future.
You're doing great here on the TV thing. Do you ever want to be the commissioner of college football?
Just run it.
Do you want to just run this thing?
Just run it. We don't appreciate it.
You just run this son of a bitch. Just run it.
Yeah. We need it. It's a big deal, though, because very much like what Coach Saban said and Kirk said, and I'm coming from a player's perspective, and I saw Pat White and Steve Slayton and many others build West Virginia up and not see a dime of it after their NFL careers weren't as long and prolific as we thought it was going to be. This situation, I think, is something that we've been kind of warning people about, where whoever was representing Sluka, whether it was his family, an agent, which what percentage of that deal are the agents taking? Are the agents actually smart? This potential agent said, yeah, we'll get $100,000 in a verbal agreement. That money's never coming in any type of contract situation. So I think there's a ruling coming from a judge where there's going to be a salary cap type thing for every single D1 school. And whenever that takes place, hopefully this settles down a little bit. But this situation had to happen because I assume it's happening everywhere else. Now we're learning about it. Let's get it fixed. And we need the smart people to do that.
Yeah, what's going on right now is the most important financial piece involving student athletes that has no governance. Now, you made a great point. Someone needs to come out with some great leadership, someone with accountability, someone with credibility. What they need to do is they need to bring in the Power 4 commissioners. If you can bring all 4 of those guys together and then you say, listen, this is my proposal. This is my plan, rules, regulations, accountability. And then if things don't go right, these are the consequences. This is my proposal. Not in an authoritarian way, but in a way that's a consensus. So now everyone has a voice, and then you come to a conclusion where everybody agrees, and then moving forward, you're able to get contracts because they said Sluka didn't have a contract. There's no governance. It's
that's
the
right. So there's no
West.
contracts.
You can start a collective. I can start a collective. Stanford Steve can start a collective.
I'm actually
That's
part of a
why
collective.
it's out of control right now.
I donated to a collective at West Virginia. It ain't working. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
I'm going to have you donate to the Desmond Demir.
But really, at the end of the day, what we're all saying is we think players should be compensated.
100%.
We just think the way they're being compensated right now is not a manageable system, and we need to make changes in the future that's going to benefit the players and the game and the level of competition that everybody can enjoy.
Everybody agrees, seemingly, too, at this point.
Think about this, Pat. The NFL went through player strikes and lockouts for years to get a working model for their free agency where we are now in the NFL. That took a long time. Yeah. College football has many more question marks. And here we are just at the beginning of this. It took the NFL a long time to get it right.
Yeah, that's a billionaires with a lot of lawyers trying to sort it, and a union capability. And college union, how's it work? Because the amount of years you're there, the turnover, who's actually going to be looking at. I mean, there's so much that goes into it. I hope somebody can figure it out. And this, another thing that's coming out of this whole thing is players using the 3-game red shirt as a, it used to be like, hey, we might blow this guy's red shirt at the end if an injury happens. It was team decision. Now it's like player decision. Like, I played 3 games. I can still get this year back and make money. I'm a red shirt myself. That's a wild time.
Bear Alexander, the former Georgia defensive lineman who wanted more from Georgia and went to USC, just did exactly what you're talking about and stepped away. You know, the collective bargaining agreement, Kirk alluded to it, you have to find who represents the players, because if you just get the commissioners together, or if you say NCAA, do something about it, the NCAA is going to get taken to court again, and they're going to lose because they're owing $1 million in court cases. And right now, there have been some adjustments to the settlement that you guys have talked about in terms of the proposal. So maybe we're going to get a little closer to the settlement of the House versus NCAA case, which will open the door for revenue sharing. So what do you think the solution is here?
Well, I just think we need a manageable system. I think all the ideas that we've presented here will give us a manageable system. But somebody needs to understand the importance of this. The passion that we have for college football all over this country and everywhere we go, it's too important not to have a system that works for the players and works for the competitive spirit of the game.
Yes, progress. Speak. And I think we've said it enough and enough. The players, we're all for them getting paid, but we're not all for the players having all the control. I think we went from one extreme where the players didn't have a lot of control to now the players having all the control. There needs to be some accountability for the players. I feel like some players select college, which to me is a 40-year decision. Your twins just went to the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. Right. That's a huge decision for them. Right. Academically and connections and where they're going in their futures. I feel like we're teaching these kids, it's almost like a 7-on-7 all-star team. Hey, you go here, you go here, you go here. And they're missing out on what those relationships can be. NFL is great, but once that's done, you need somewhere to have as a home. And these guys they're not going to have a home because they're bouncing around too much.
Some kind of a revenue sharing system is the answer to the question.
It's coming, I've been told, right?
And that's what we need.
And if we get the settlement, the one thing that I'd like to point out about Sluka is you were talking about loyalty to the program. Matthew Sluka came from Holy Cross, where he was a terrific player there. But he arrived in July. There wasn't a deep-seated tie. No. Probably the Occam's razor philosophy, the most likely thing is probably the true. And it is probably true that he was promised something, likely, and it was not delivered. That's likely true. It is obviously true he didn't have it in writing. Yeah. If you make a dumb mistake in life, if I do, Matthew Sluka does, or whoever, sometimes you have to wear that, man. And going in there and expecting something without writing, and then they don't give it to you, you can't just bail on the team. You got to wear the fastball in the ribs sometime and go, that was my bad.
Which once again leads to like the proper representation, a part of this entire revenue thing, and like certified agents and everybody getting into writing. Because like, for instance, for me, when I was coming to high school, my dad a truck driver, mom a secretary. If they were negotiating NIL deals or playing deals, they would have got, I assume, by a lot of people. Yeah. So Sluka learning this lesson for a lot of other people, obviously good, but getting the players some protection so they don't do $100,000, that sounds good. Yeah, and then just move along and never get it is a big deal as well.
Let's not let whoever, if the promise was made, let's not let him off the hook either. That's despicable. That's despicable and sleazy to try to get a kid like that.
But at the end of the day, what kind of value did this young man create for himself by making this decision? Being put in this situation and then making this decision. What kind of real value does he create for his future by doing this? And that's the unfortunate thing about all this.
Yeah. Chasing short-term money and affecting their future.
That's certainly what you want. As we cross the top of the hour here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama and Georgia, the most important big-picture topic in college football. We just had that discussion. Here's what we have in store on ESPN+. Sluka's former team program, Holy Cross, against Syracuse. You know who Syracuse has next? UNLV. Oh, sometimes promos just write themselves now, don't they? UNLV, TCU, and Kansas also coming up. Still to come on College Game Day. Big time for the Buckeyes. The preseason's over now. A conference game. What will we learn about Ohio State? And you won't believe the lengths, the dedication that this guy has gone to follow the Crimson Tide everywhere.
I've been asked many times, does it get old? And it doesn't. When I walk in that stadium, I see red helmets with a white stripe, red jerseys, white numerals, and that's Alabama football.
They need their lawn back fast. And you need Scott's Turf Builder Rapid Grass. It grows grass 2 times faster than just seed the lawn. Giving you a stronger lawn. Smell that freedom, eh?
Download the My Lawn app today for lawn care tips and customized plans.
Feed it, lawn. Feed it.
Every season, we give it everything we have. We give our strength. We give our souls. We give up our comfort zones to make the other side uncomfortable. We give our passion. We even give his passion. Good boy. We give it all because that's how you win it all. It's in our blood. And now, we can give that too. This season, Abbott and Big Ten are pitting school against school in the largest blood donation competition of our lifetime to fight the largest blood shortage in a generation. Want your school to win? Then don't give up. Give blood.
Future-proof your home and garden with AARP today. Harvest the rewards for years to come. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
We've never spoken, but you've told us many things. That you love stargazing, hate parallel parking, and occasionally your right foot gets a little heavy. The Lexus ES didn't begin in the studio, it began with you.
Simple shopping. That's all I want. I just want things to be fast and easy.
Yeah, join the club.
I want it here already.
The baby?
No, our groceries. I wish we could get same-day delivery.
Yeah, join the club.
And free curbside pickup would be nice. You know, stay in my car. They bring it to me.
Yeah, join the club.
Yeah, join the club and get free curbside pickup. We bring it to you.
See, she brings it to me.
Plus, members now get free delivery from Club on qualifying orders $50 or more.
Future-proof your home and garden with AARP today. Harvest the rewards for years to come. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP.
This is where goodness grows. The kind of goodness that fills homes and keeps us all blooming. To us, the garden has always been a source of sweet inspiration. It's the reason we use plant-based ingredients in each of our home and body care products. Products that not only smell delightful, but are hardworking. And most of all, they'll make you wonder just what kind of goodness you'll grow next. Mrs. Myers, rooted in goodness.
What a morning here in Tuscaloosa. Energy building. It's really been here all weekend for Alabama and Georgia. Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, both from the Nick Saban coaching tree, will join the show live. Ole Miss playing at noon against Kentucky. Wildcats down some guys in the secondary. Coach Saban will take us inside the film room, break down what the quarterback run game and Jalen Milroe can do to give the Dogs fits tonight on Saban Field. And the kicking contest, $65,000. You got a soccer player.
High school soccer player.
Got a shot.
Freshman named Xander, business major. Good business would be to make a kick and make $65,000. Ground's going to be wet, though. A little bit of a miss.
Slippery.
I just want to tell you, we were here for basketball. The kid cashed in and made money.
Well, special things happen here in T-Town. Boo Day. Rolls with the tide. That's that new hippo. Boo Day.
Is that it?
I think it translates to fat pig. Legit.
Really?
It's cutie. It's cutie. It's cutie. It's cutie.
They love Miss Terry. Are you worried about Miss Terry out picking you today?
Absolutely, man. Lots of pressure.
And the reference to the success that Alabama has had against Kirby Smart as he gets ready to bring the Dogs in. Look at this. We're feeling DJ Mojo. DJ Griff got stuck because of the weather, and Mojo's stepping in.
Yeah, I believe DJ Griff is rocking a party in an airport right now. DJ Mojo is absolutely crushed this morning, though. We appreciate you and your mustache friends keeping these people rolling.
Yes, sir. On the banks of the Red Cedar today, Michigan State and Ohio State. This is Ohio State's first real game of the season. Buckeyes are heavy favorites, but you know, one of the most memorable games in the history of this rivalry, 1998. Look at that young buck on the sideline.
Oh, my goodness gracious. That's a big one. That's Billy Burke. Ohio State with an interception. Damon Moore. I'm going off the top of my head here. 13. It looks like by the way, the Buckeyes were probably favored by 20 points, maybe 25.
They were undefeated, number one.
Back there, too. Look at the shield.
Plexico Burr.
Ahmad Plummer. Billy Burke.
Billy Burke. This time Billy gets his revenge.
Cedric
Irvin. Cedric Irvin.
Look at my guy swerving. Yeah.
Cedric Irvin.
Yeah. Big cat.
Sir.
Joey Germain leading the Buckeyes down late. Chance to win it. Denied. Ronaldo Hill with the interception. Is that right, Coach? Ronaldo?
That's right.
Hey.
And you know what happened the year after that? Really things changed for Nick's program. The next year, they beat Ohio State in East Lansing. Last time they've done that. In 2015, game day was there. Ohio State coming off the national championship the previous year. Rainy day. Not much went right for the Buckeyes on that
Michigan
day.
State had a couple backup quarterbacks. Tyler O'Connor stepped in, and Ohio State's offense didn't have much. It came down to a field goal late. Kid from Columbus, Ohio, and he gives the OH as he sprints down the field to the south side. Yeah.
That was Michael Geiger. They not only denied Ohio State Big Ten championship, kept them from going for a repeat, and Michigan State went into the playoffs.
Urban's best team. They won it in 14. 15 was his best team. They get upset late in the year by a backup quarterback from Michigan State.
That 1998 game changed my whole coaching philosophy because I thought we had no chance to win the game, Lee. No chance.
I said
so
0%.
I called a sports psychiatrist and say, how do I approach the team? And he made me get to be a transformational leader in terms of making people focus on the process and not the outcome, and that changed my whole coaching
How about
career.
that?
That is it.
Crazy.
That's amazing. That was the dawn of a new Nick right there.
That was it. That was the dawn of the new Nick.
Alabama certainly benefited.
It's a blue
from
liner.
it. Yeah, it is. Dr. Rosen.
You can hear a lot, boy. You heard
Right now, new Michigan State coach Jonathan Smith is taking notes. I can transform this entire season right now if I knock off the Buckeyes today.
Well, I think Coach Smith is a phenomenal head coach, and obviously Michigan State is hoping for the case. But we just put up the dynamic duo there in the backfield for Ohio State, and I think that is really this story. Obviously, Trevion Henderson was great for Ohio State, has been, bringing in Quinshon Judkins from Ole Miss. And then also, don't look now, Will Howard had 9 rushing touchdowns for Kansas State last year. They haven't even really got him going. Yeah. They got Jeremiah Smith, those two running backs, and everything that Will Howard's doing. Chip Kelly has a plethora of weapons that they have on the offensive side of the ball, and they control it. They smash it, and they're not scared to do that against anybody, I think. And that's the difference this year versus years past for Ohio State.
Yeah, you're talking about control. That they've controlled the line of scrimmage Ohio State has. When you look at the competition they've played against, I'm like, let me see where they are in the rankings, especially in the conference. And I thought they'd be number 1 in rush offense. They're number 4 in rush offense, averaging 241 yards a game. But they've never played anybody so far this season that's going to offer the resistance in the trenches that Michigan State will. Michigan State, their defense is number 1 in sacks in the conference with 15 and number 1 in TFLs with 32, meaning up front, their defense, their front 7, they come to play. So that's going to be interesting, watching the Buckeyes rushing attack against the front 7 of Sparty.
Well, I think the big thing that Ohio State has going, and Chip Kelly does a great job of this, is he's going to get to the ball to his playmakers.
Yeah.
Having two great running backs is a good start and a good offensive line and a capable quarterback. But these skilled players that they have outside and be able to tie the run and the pass and the play action passes and the RPOs and the advantage throws, those things are going to be too much for Michigan State to match up with.
And I think Will Howard, that experienced hand back there, it just seems like he's bringing stability to that position. I also think one thing that gets overlooked with Ohio State, Des talked about the offensive line. They haven't really been challenged against some of these teams, and that's true. But I think just watching Ohio State a lot over the years, that's been a bit of an Achilles heel, the offensive line that they've had to overcome at times. These guys have 103 career starts collectively, and it just seems like, Lee, they're getting a little bit better and understanding and communicating in Chip Kelly's new system. And I don't know. I think they will get challenged by Michigan State, but I think Ohio State is right now building a lot of confidence as they get into conference play.
The cupcake schedule is done from Michigan, Ohio State.
Yep.
They got Michigan State this week. Michigan State is a huge underdog. I coached against Michigan State many times, and they're tough. Let me tell you one thing.
Yep.
They're not going to be bad by Ohio State. I don't care how fast Ohio State is.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State rallies and upsets, but
No, they're going to avoid the upset.
Yeah, they avoid the upset to get Michigan State.
Well, an interesting thing about this is really Ohio State has played split safety defense, which means they never have an extra guy in the box all season long, and their front is be able to hold up against the run, and that really is a better way to play pass defense. And if somebody doesn't establish the run against them and get them out of that, they're going to be hard to beat.
Michigan State's defense is going to be disrupted. Their front seven.
I agree completely. Who's the safety for Ohio State? Do you know him? Do you know?
Caleb Down.
What a player. You guys know Caleb Down? It's just a duck. God did a lot for this town.
One of my favorite all-time players. Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite. As a freshman, the maturity that he showed, the preparation, the way he performed, I love the guy. He's a great person.
There's some other things going on in the Big Ten here. You've got the Little Brown Jug game. Michigan ran it 46 times through 12 against USC. Now USC has to deal with Wisconsin. And we're going to talk Illinois, Penn State, and Oregon, UCLA later on in the show. What?
He's just chilling over there.
What?
Steve,
this is real. You got a friend?
Hey,
Coach,
dude,
you know this guy?
Hey, listen to him. Is this the Aflac duck? Look at him. Look at him.
That's it. You've been talking to me the whole segment. I couldn't even hear you.
Yeah, seriously.
Better that way sometimes.
Question.
Why is that duck better behaved than my dog?
That's a you problem.
I think so. That's what I've been told. That's a good-looking duck.
The big question is, I'll give you the Aflac question. Somebody asked me on the golf course.
Uh-oh.
How did they get that duck to behave?
That's what I'm saying.
Look at this duck.
Thinking it's a real duck.
Look at this guy.
That's not a real duck.
Hey, I gave us a head
Ducks
turn.
are very nice. They get a bad rap.
Don't pet him, Dad.
You've been staring me down for 5 minutes.
You know, we do have to get off the air a little after noon Eastern time.
I want to
With
pet
that
him.
in mind,
Aflac question of the
gonna pet
day.
him.
Last active coach to beat Kirby Smart.
Is he going to let us in here?
Hey, how are you?
Y'all messing around.
I can't answer this because I actually gave
Kirk,
them the
last
question.
active head
that's
coach
good.
to beat Kirby Smart.
The last active FBS coach to beat
up,
Kirby
Duck?
Smart. The Duck has taken these two
Spot zone.
completely
Yeah,
out
man.
of it.
What's up, dude?
Steve,
How's the
answer.
insurance?
Tom Herman?
Hey, that's a good question. I didn't hear it.
Good
It's
one.
duck.
Dude?
Tom
Duck-
Herman,
the Duck
Sugar Bowl
hijacked
after
Is
his-
that Texas?
after the
hijacked his
2018 season.
So that's the first time I ever realized that now I'm considered inactive.
Oh, damn.
This is news to you.
Yep.
Look how good that duck is. That's a good duck. That's
I
some
can't believe the
good.
duck.
That's some good ducking right there.
Wait till you see what that duck's going to do on that desk in a minute. I think it's a good duck.
Hell yeah, duck. Let it eat.
How can you stay there the rest of the show?
Nah, we're good.
Hey, stay over here. You can sit right here.
That duck was side-eyeing you a little bit.
Oh, man.
Game coming up at noon in the SEC. Ole Miss is taking on Kentucky. Now, speaking of teams that really haven't had a challenge, AT&T keeping us connected at Hemingway Stadium. The Rebels and the Wildcats, this will be a different kind of challenge. Lane Kiffin had said earlier this week that preseason schedule didn't really help him that much for conference play. Delighted to be joined by Lane. So, Lane, with that in mind, if the non-conference schedule didn't prepare you for conference play, what did those games that you've played have been so terrific and prepare you for?
Well, they gave us a lot of confidence, so we're going to have that. But, you know, what I hope is, you know, we have really good players that we practice every day in practice, all through fall training camp, big offensive linemen, defensive linemen, which is what we're going to see today. So hopefully that's prepared us a lot.
Lane, you look really, really relaxed. I mean, much more relaxed than when I was in your ear.
Thank you.
You know, and you were calling offensive plays, and I was always second guessing you. So, but you look good, man. You really look good. So, what have you learned about this team so far that you really like?
I really like how competitive they are. I like that, you know, a lot of these guys came here to do something special. A number of guys could have went to the NFL. They came back for a year. So I really like their chemistry. But again, we haven't really been challenged. So I think that's going to happen today. These guys got a lot of really good players and led by their defensive front and a premier defensive lineman with number 0. So we're going to have to play really well today.
Lane, what's the thing about this team? You've changed the culture so much from when you got there to now. People expect you to win games every week. How have you managed that? You've been around USC and so many great programs throughout your coaching career, but that's new for this program. That's new for Ole Miss. What have you tried to do to get these guys to just kind of expect that, yeah, that's okay, that's normal, that's who we are now?
Well, it took us a while to get there. I've been fortunate to be at places, like you mentioned, USC or with Coach Saban in Alabama, where that was the standard and expectations. You had to deal with that every week. And so that's happening now, and we're going to see that. I think a lot of people have prepared in the offseason to play against us, and we're kind of a target now, where before we weren't. A little bit easier before. So it's awesome to have this challenge and have these expectations around us so we can be on stages like this to play.
Coach, as a girl dad myself, watching you get ready with your daughter last week on TikTok before the game was awesome. I don't know if you ended up putting any of that makeup on your face, but you look damn good, to Coach Saban's quote from earlier. I want to ask about this game that's happening here in Tuscaloosa, so I apologize. Kalen DeBoer is in his first action here as an SEC coach, taking on Georgia. What would your message be to him, and what do you expect from these Tuscaloosa, Alabama fans tonight on the global stage as Georgia comes in September?
Well, I don't think Kalen needs any advice from me. He's done a great job wherever he's been. You know, that's going to be an unbelievable environment tonight. I'm sure it is already there. And for two of the best programs in America to be playing, should be really exciting for you guys.
Hell yeah, Coach.
Hey, Lane, check this out. I know you're in season, so you're probably not watching a lot of television, but Coach Saban is like the subject of a lot of funny commercials nowadays. So my question to you is, when you were on staff, how often did you see that side of Coach Saban?
I love Coach, but I never saw that side. I actually have seen those commercials. I paused it, replayed it, videoed it with my phone, and I sent it to Kirby. I sent it to Sark and all these guys. I'm like, who is this guy, man? This guy's awesome.
Lane,
make jokes.
Lane, we're gonna let you be Coach Saban.
You got to like go rent a place and you got to live with him there. You know, that's awesome.
Lane, you could be an analyst for us.
I mean, not exactly like the funnest vacation, but that's okay.
Yeah. Hey, Lane, who wins this game here in Tuscaloosa, Georgia and Alabama?
Ooh, shoot, what's Georgia? Kirby's got 40-game win streak, regular season. But, you know, that's Alabama, and they're playing on Nick Saban Field tonight, man. So I got to go Roll Tide.
Lane, very gracious to talk about the game here. Look what he's going for tonight. This afternoon, his 100th career win as an FBS coach. If the Rebels can get past Kentucky, they'll kick off in about an hour and 45 minutes here on ESPN ABC. Lane, thanks a lot for being with us, man. Always great to see you.
Good luck, Coach.
See you, bro.
Good luck. Good luck, Lane. Good luck, Lane.
All right, guys.
By the way, that high-powered Ole Miss offense won't have to deal with Maxwell Hairston, the Kentucky star defensive back who's out with a shoulder.
Drop there for him here with the fans in Tuscaloosa.
Big pop from Lancaster.
He knows how to play the crowd. See on ABC, ESPN Plus, Kentucky, Ole Miss, followed by Oklahoma, Auburn, and then Georgia and Alabama.
The Duck's name is Ben. I'm not lying.
It's what? Ben?
It acts like Golden Retriever.
That's why he acts like
that. Was the best behaving duck I've ever.
Home Depot Game Day Tailgate, built by doers Bob and Spencer Baumauer and Zach Compton from Baumauer's Victory Grill to cooking up all manner of delicious things. Baumauer, as I'm sure most of you know, was a star defensive lineman here. A great player for the Miami Dolphins as well in the 70s. Wheels up each and every week. Make sure we get a celebrity guest picker here. However, in this case, we were able to be ground-based by getting Miss Terry here later in the show.
Miss Terry's going to fly in her own plane.
That's right.
Take her up, let her do a loop, and come back.
I bet you Miss Terry could fly the plane if she had to. She is great at everything.
We found out last night she plays the piano.
Greatest meatballs I've had in a long time.
Don't go anywhere. We got lots more to do on Game Day. Now a quick word from Dez and Arby's.
Arby's has more than just roast beef. And tailgates don't only have to happen here. They can happen here with Arby's snacks and sides. And here with Arby's burgers and fries. The tailgate is wherever you are with Arby's new tailgate meal.
Oh no. Guess I'm going back to the store.
I can fix that.
Fast fixes with Felix.
Tomorrow work?
Works for me.
Gotta run.
That's what you do.
Delivery at the speed you need.
Military veteran and USAA member Sam Elliott. I'm Gronk, your new roommate.
Roommate?
Mm-hmm. Wow. I've been trying to join USAA for years.
Gronk, you know it's for the military community and their families.
I know I can't join, but I could live in your house and ride in your truck, both USAA insured. Roomie?
Roomie. USAA, auto, home, life, and bank.
The new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell with the beefy 5-layer burrito, Doritos Locos Taco, and the Chicken Chalupa Supreme. The only thing not Lux about it is the price. The new $7 Lux Cravings box, only at Taco Bell.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Open your eyes. You deserve better from your phone service. At Total Wireless, we're fixing that. No more hidden fees. No more surprises on your bill. You deserve to get it all, and that's exactly what we'll give you. Find your local store at TotalWireless.com.
Mike had a heart attack a year ago, but he's still living in the red with a very high risk of another attack. With his risk factors, his recommended LDL-C level should be below 55. Find out if you're living in the red. Learn how to get a free LDL-C test.
Your shipping manager left to find themselves, leaving you lost. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Sponsored jobs on Indeed are 2.5 times faster to first hire. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Check engine light on? There's an O'Reilly Auto Parts. Turn left, Tyler.
Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you don't want to do the repair yourself, we can recommend a shop for you.
Okay, Tyler, let's go fix your car.
Auto Parts.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot, is brought to you by Allstate and the Allstate AFCA Good Works team, recognizing the athletes for their good work off the field. Visit ESPN.com/Allstate to learn more.
That's a look at Crimson Reserve, Alabama's new 176-acre state-of-the-art college golf facility. Nick is one of 30 partners there. They've done a lot here, and much of it has been built on great football moments.
December 1st, 2012, Atlanta.
the 65th meeting between the Dogs and Tide, but the first in an SEC championship. Georgia had won 3 of their last 4 matchups. How close did they come to making it 4 out of 5? A little less than 5 yards.
It's caught by Conley at the 5. We can't stop the clock. 3, 2, 1. Oh, my God.
Alabama wins it. They're your SEC champions.
It wasn't just an SEC championship that it cost Georgia in that game. Georgia almost certainly would have won the national championship. Alabama went on to blow out Notre Dame. Now, teams that aspire to get to championship status have to have some stability at quarterback. That is not the case at Oklahoma. Oklahoma plays Auburn today. We talked a lot last week in Norman about Jackson Arnold. He got pulled from the game. Michael Hawkins is going to start for the Sooners down on the Plains. He's a freshman making a road start in that environment. From a broader perspective, though, we've seen a lot of teams doing this. A&M's dealing with it. Auburn's dealing with it. What's the impact of having to deal with quarterback issues or changes?
Well, first of all, football is the greatest team game there is, except for one position. That's the quarterback, because that guy's in the best position to lead. He's going to distribute the ball every play because he gets the ball every play. So the most important thing I think you have to do as a coach is make sure you're doing what the quarterback can do. Just like last year, our offensive staff wanted to have a certain kind of an offense, which really wasn't the best thing for Jalen Milroe. And when we finally decided that this is what we had to do after not playing very well early in the year, and we sort of tailored things that Jalen could do, we became a very successful offensive team. And I think a lot of these teams that are going through this transition need to do what their quarterback can do, because that's going to help them be successful.
What's interesting with that in mind is the two teams that are dealing with that, Oklahoma and Auburn, play each other.
Right.
We saw last week, as Reese mentioned, Michael Hawkins came in after Arnold went down. I think he had 9 drives and led him to a field goal. Just it didn't have a rhythm to it. A lot of injuries up front. Top 5 wide receivers down for Oklahoma. Hawkins, because of his mobility, at least keeps plays alive and showed some serious toughness. Almost that coach can appreciate this. Players watch that film. They watch a couple plays. One, he goes end over end into the end zone. Another time, he lowers his shoulder, takes on 2 safeties. He's not a big guy. I felt like he kind of won the team over. So between the athletic ability and his ability to show that toughness, I think that's why he gets the shot this week. And then the other thing, Des, with Auburn, man, they're 133rd in the nation with 14 turnovers. Both these quarterbacks are turning over like crazy. They're going back to Peyton Thorne. Yeah. And I think the reason there's enough evidence with him, days at Michigan State, that at some point he's got to recalibrate and get back on track. So I get that. But which quarterback can play well and not turn the ball over today is going to win that one?
That's key. That's important. You can't turn the ball over. I think that Hugh Freeze pulled the trigger a little early on Peyton Thorne. Yeah. That's why he's going back to Peyton Thorne. But as a player, I'm always observing the guy who was replaced. I mean, if you want this to go smoothly, you have to look at the guy who's replaced, the quarterback that's replaced. How does he handle that situation? And that's going to dictate to me the mentality of your offense moving forward. Because if this guy is a guy who goes in the tank and he's disruptive in the locker room, then you may lose the team. But if he's a guy like, okay, let's go, and I think that's what you had. When you were here, you had guys that when they were replaced, especially the quarterback position, they cheered on the other guy, and then if their opportunity came back, everyone was like pulling for them. And that's the attitude you want to have in this situation.
Yeah, that's a culture. And I had an incredible opportunity to chit-chat with him once a week last year before he did this. And we all knew he was going to be great at TV then. But whenever he benches Jalen Milroe and then he comes back and puts him back in, I asked him about it. And he explained about how I wanted to see how he handled. Yeah. I want to see what type of teammate he was. I want to see what type of leader he was. He wins over the locker room and how he acts. He gets a chance to watch how the team operates without him on the field. Then he gets back in there, and they have a magical run all the way to the college football playoff. Same thing could happen with Peyton Thorne. Right. Peyton Thorne with Auburn, obviously, he throws 4 picks against Cal. They pull him. Freshman Hank Brown throws 3 picks against Arkansas. Is it the offense or is it the quarterbacks? I think those two would say the same thing. And then Oklahoma State, Bauman gets pulled out of that game. Ollie Gordon can't run. Is it the offense? Is it the quarterback? Or they have it all to figure out?
The clearest example I can think of, Kirk, when he benched Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And the way he responded, the way he reacted,
and then a year later,
loved that kid after that.
And then a year later, they bring him in the SEC championship.
Exactly.
He had a right state of mind to be able to go out
loved him because of the way he handled it.
Put 14 points up in the fourth quarter. Your point about Alan Bowman, you see his quote this week? It speaks volumes about what Des said. He said this week that he thought it was a good reset for me. Like that's the right mindset that you want to have when you end up getting pulled.
Absolutely.
But one thing you need to know, everybody on that team knows who should be playing quarterback. Mm-hmm. And as a coach, if you don't have that pulse and you don't pick the right guy to do it,
you're right.
Players know.
Yeah.
Oh, coach doesn't have an idea.
Never fool the players, right?
Well, some players are dumb, but most.
Bowman came back in and actually got Oklahoma State back in that game. And he'll have a big challenge against Kansas State in a real desperation game for those two. In the HBCU, got a couple of memorable games. The 99th State Fair Classic. It's not just Oklahoma, Texas down there. You got Prairie View taking on Grambling. Grambling at 3-1, but Prairie View's won 5 of the last 6 meetings.
Yeah, Contrevian Hardrow for Grambling, 81 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns last week versus Jackson State. Grambling, man, 5 takeaways last week. It's the best in the FCS. The quarterback, though, for Prairie View, Cam Peters, over 700 yards passing, 4 touchdowns this season. His guy, Shamar Savage, I love that name, Savage. His favorite target averages 18 yards per reception.
And Pat's home in Indianapolis. Norfolk State taking on North Carolina Central, the 40th Circle City Classic.
Yeah, Norfolk State's quarterback, Jalen Daniels, 277 yards passing, 3 touchdowns last week. And, of course, Jaquez Jones, 143 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. But North Carolina Central offense is humming right now. Those guys had 66 points they put on the board last week, 500 yards of offense. This may just be a shootout.
Circle City Classic's great for the city every single year.
See that game at 3 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN Plus. If you don't get a chance to go down there, we're in Tuscaloosa. Good morning again, Jess.
Good morning, Reese. Yes, so they say SEC fans are built different, and I have 2 guys right here in a fun raft that have a really cool story. So check this out right here. They're 2 high school buddies from Northwest Atlanta. Their names are Ben and Peter. They were supposed to drive to Tuscaloosa for the game yesterday, but Peter couldn't see the front yard with all the flooding around his house, and his car was submerged. So Ben had no fear, went and bought a raft to pick Peter up so he wouldn't miss the game. And guess what? They made it here, y'all. Raft and all. All right, so Peter, were you surprised when your buddy showed up with this beautiful raft and oars?
I was very surprised. I thought I wasn't going to be coming to Tuscaloosa, maybe not even today. But when I told him, he was like, we're going to make it happen, and we did.
Well, Ben, where does this come from, this commitment? What does Georgia and the Bulldogs and this specific game mean to you?
Georgia's everything to me. But my parents went there. It's bloodline. It's where I want to be. And go Dogs.
I was going to say, who do you think is going to win? Pat loves this story. He said, they're dogs. Y'all are dogs. Georgia, they're going to apply early decisions. So this is the kind of commitment that you're looking for. And, of course, our thoughts and prayers are definitely with all the people that are affected by this severe storm. There's so much more coming up on College Game Day right after this, including Georgia's Kirby Smart joining the guys. So don't go anywhere.
Hey, dogs. By any means necessary. I appreciate you guys. That was awesome to see.
I have a surprise for you.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah. Feast your eyes on this.
Oh, that's sexy. Feels so new.
I want to feel this feeling again and again.
Can I hold it?
How bad do you want to hold it?
I'm not going to beg, but pretty please.
Or they don't. Go ahead, press a button.
Oh, it's glowing.
Apple Intelligence. We should do this more often.
Agreed.
Rekindle the feeling of love with the new iPhone 16 Pro on us. And feel it again and again with the latest iPhone every year with AT&T Next Up Anytime.
Do the Ravens have it this year? Can Lamar get it done?
They're trying to write us off. Y'all got it? Tell hard.
Oh, you know we got it. Yup. That's right.
Oh, you know we got it. That dog. Oh, you know we got it. That fight. Oh, you know we got it. Y'all ready? Oh, you know we got it.
Let's get it. Let's get it. You ain't never gonna stop us, 'cause
choose Advil Liquid Gels for faster, stronger, and longer-lasting relief than Tylenol Rapid Release Gels. Because Advil targets pain at the source of inflammation. So for faster pain relief, Advil, the pain away.
Listen, it's all about winning in the trenches.
Come on, Bobby. You need a superstar quarterback.
Superstar. Always with the superstar.
Let me guess. You're one of those underdog guys.
Everyone loves an underdog. I'm taking him straight up on ESPN Bet tonight.
Good call, Bobby. Ground and pound, baby. Y'all lost your minds. Are we watching the same league?
Yeah, let me get a Mad Dog.
Mad Dog? When did he get his own sandwich?
He's a local legend.
I gotta find me a new deli.
We'll see you tomorrow.
At Papa John's, get an extra large New York style one-topping pizza for only $10.99. It's a mouth-watering, stretched thinner, made bigger, more for your money, extra large New York style one-topping pizza for only $10.99. Better get you some Papa John's.
What's this?
Athletic Duck signed me to an NIL deal.
An NIL deal?
It's name, injury, and likeness. With a name like Prime, an injury like mine, and a likeness so fine, that's a triple threat.
Couldn't we just tell people Aflac pays cash for expenses not covered by health insurance?
If we want people to understand how Aflac helps close that gap, we got to get you to think bigger, Coach.
You gotta be kidding.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Aflac is an official sponsor of ESPN College Gameday.
Miss Terry's not gonna like this.
Trouble.
Lo que mío, mío es. A mi patria no me la quitan. Ay, lo que mío, mío es. Y lo que soy siempre seré. Ay,
I have to finish writing this paper. I'm swamped.
Just get Grammarly. It's free.
Can it help with what I wrote last night?
Grammarly will catch all those spelling and grammar errors, and it'll help with the bigger stuff. Grammarly can also give you ideas to make your writing better. Add more background, add specific examples, focus your conclusion.
This sounds like me, but better. A less damp me. You think a less damp me could get that internship?
A less damp you can do anything. Download Grammarly for free.
Tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown, before the Eagles' road test in Tampa, we go one-on-one with Saquon Barkley.
The reason why I'm here is that I can capture in this moment, I can show players how elite that I am.
Mayfield, Darnold, Allen, and Lamar, how the 2018 draft shaped today's NFL. Kick off your Sunday with us on NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Back to you in Tuscaloosa.
All right, Greeny, thank you very much. Monday Night Football. Couple of games, Titans and the Tua-less Dolphins, 7:15 Eastern Time, then Seahawks and Lions. That starts at 8 on ABC and ESPN+. Early game is on ESPN. In the Big 12, you only have conference games, and Chris Kleiman and company, they ran into a buzz saw last Saturday night in Provo. Came apart like a $39 suit, and now they'll try to bounce back against Oklahoma State, which lost a home game. Gundy changed quarterbacks, as we talked about, middle of the game, went back to Bowman. They haven't been able to get that ground game with Ollie Gordon going. You see kickoff in less than 90 minutes, and here how the odds have changed to win the Big 12. Utah has been the favorite since the preseason, now an even shorter favorite after winning in Stillwater. Utes have Arizona today, and the last time they saw Arizona, a former Pac-12 rival, Noah Fafita, Teteroa McMillan lit them up, dropped 42 on them, beat them 42-18, but the Utes appear to be the leader in the Big 12 at the moment.
Yeah, I would certainly agree with that. And then West Virginia is obviously hot on their heels. Everybody knows that, even though they weren't on the board there.
I thought we couldn't mention West Virginia no more on the show.
I don't know who we is.
That's what I
thought we eliminated North Carolina.
Exactly. A lot of we talk here. Okay. But the Big 12, obviously UCF has a big one today with Colorado. And
WVU,
Yep, WVU, massive games. Utah, though, Coach Whittingham, and what they've been able to do out there is obviously phenomenal for a very long time.
Yeah.
Tough place to play. They win 95% of the time whenever they play at home.
Yeah.
So I think today they're in a good spot. But what's most impressive about that team is the way they play all three phases of football together. If somebody gets injured, like it's quarterback position, Isaac Wilson steps up and he's spinning that thing beautifully. Zach Wilson's younger brother. The defense has kept everybody under 300 yards. Their run defense is dominant. It's like everything Utah's cooking right now, even though they've had a little bit of an injury bug, is seemingly flowing for them to have a dominant year. And I'm very pumped about that because that Utah fan base is obviously very deserving of it all.
No, right about that. I love Utah. I like Colorado, but on the road, UCF going up against Gus Malzahn. We're talking about the #1 rushing offense in the country. These guys average 375 yards per game, meaning they control the clock. Now, you got Shedeur Sanders. They want to throw the ball all over the yard. This is going to limit their possession. So you're talking about a contrast in styles. Colorado, their offense, spread wide open. They want to throw the ball down the field and over the yard. But you look at UCF, they're going to control the clock, running game. This is going to be a very intriguing matchup, Colorado versus UCF.
Well, I agree with you on that one, but I think when you can't stop the run and when Gus Malzahn can run the ball on you, you got issues because he's going to make you stop him, and you're going to be able to shrink the game, so you're not going to have the ball. Colorado's not going to have the ball that much unless they can stop the run. But I agree that Utah is the team that, to me, dominates the line of scrimmage. They get movement on the offensive line. They're very difficult to run the ball against. They're physical up front. But K-State has, to me, the most to fix because they actually threw the game away like you hate as a coach. You know, when they played BYU last week, they turned the ball over twice. The other team scored like 21 points in no time. They went for it on 4th down 3 times and didn't make it. They had the ball in the red zone 3 times and didn't score a touchdown. So all these things are fixable things, and if they can get that done, they may still be a team to beat.
Sounds like a guy that picked Kansas State last week.
You were right. Players are wrong. You were right.
Really upset about it.
I can tell. Hey, look at that graphic. Reese made a great comment in August about the Big 12. We were talking about it not being deep, but wide. And you look at these matchups, Oklahoma and Kansas State. Coach just talked about Kansas State. Oklahoma State had that loss at home to Utah. Neither team can afford a second conference loss back-to-back weeks. Colorado, big Hail Mary, great story. You guys are talking all about UCF. R.J. Harvey, a guy no one's talking about, monster year. They're averaging 375 on the ground. Iowa State, as always, in September, forgotten about, sitting there perfectly undefeated, just getting a little bit better each week. So it's and WVU.
Big 12's great.
Couple that you just see at Iowa State playing Houston, quiet. Rocco Beck's been very good. And then BYU still undefeated. They're playing Baylor. Baylor a little desperate.
I think it's a fun league. It's a fun league to watch.
Might be a one bid league.
It is.
One bid league.
It's a fun league.
One bid league. 12-team playoff. Only one Big 12 team.
We'll see. I think so. Don't forget about the Cincinnati Bearcats too. They're sneaking around out there.
Texas Tech.
Big one. Lubbock. You mentioned Oklahoma State. They're the only team to beat Arkansas. Arkansas playing in Arlington against A&M. A lot of different shades of red, different on the eyes there. But Taylor Green has been sensational. Bobby Petrino's offense, when you talk to guys that have coached against Arkansas, they're saying he's going all the way back to his days with Lamar Jackson at Louisville with that quarterback run game. So I like that. They got the capability to win the game. We'll take the points with Arkansas.
3-0 last week, this man. 3-0 last week.
Arkansas hosts Tennessee next week, too. And if they win this one, that could be a big, big game for Sam Pittman and company. But, of course, the gargantuan game to wrap up Saturdays in September comes here in Tuscaloosa tonight. Kirby Smart, the head coach of the Bulldogs, 5 straight wins in AP Top 5 matchup. And we're delighted to be joined by the head coach of the Bulldogs here, who's getting the reception that one would expect. Kirby, great to have you with us. Look, we talked about it off the top of the show. It feels different with Nick in a different role. When you walk out on that field tonight, all of these meetings you've had against Alabama, what do you think it's going to be like to not have him as the opposing coach for that pregame conversation?
I don't know. It's always different because we had so many staff meetings together over the 11, 12 years we spent together. So the pregame meeting was always delightful to me because it was good to be around a great friend and somebody that I respect a lot. And Kalen, I'm just still getting to know a little bit and been around him in the SEC meetings and look forward to visiting with him.
Well, you know, Kirby, I think one of the things people really underestimate is how difficult it is. You've played great defense so far this year, but how difficult it is to play against a dual-threat quarterback that has the running ability and quarterback run-type plays that Alabama could run against you. What is your plan to try to negate that part of their offense and what Jalen Milroe can do as a runner?
Well, tackle the man with the ball. He is a grown man, and he is very hard to tackle. They do a great job of using those plays wisely and judiciously when they run him and when they ask him to run, but he's really elite at it. And so for us, we worked really hard at being disciplined. You know, whether you've got a surf technique and you've got to read him, you've got to do that job with a great discipline. He is a tough guy to defend, as you know, because of that element. You know, the middle field safety now is going to have to play the middle of the field, but also play Jalen. And he creates a lot of nightmares for defenses, and that's why they've been so explosive. I mean, they're the most explosive team in college football today.
Coach, none of these people are listening to any of your answers. They're just booing you. It's disrespectful. Yeah, I apologize. I thank you for making time to come chit-chat with us today, but I would like to talk about how you're talking to your team. Obviously, we know how last year ended in the SEC title. That was the first loss your team had in like 30 games. Back-to-back national championship, and you're left out of the 14 playoff. You guys weren't allowed to be mad, though, because Florida State didn't get it. How often did you use that messaging and hold that over your team's head all offseason? And how much have you been looking forward to this particular week with your squad since then?
No, we didn't make it about them. You know, we don't make it about Alabama beating us in that game. There's things that we did that we didn't play well, and they did. They outperformed us. They out-physicaled us. They really won the line of scrimmage. And that's what you do in the SEC. If you can win the line of scrimmage, you got a great opportunity. So that game is in last year. I told the guys, that game is last year, and a lot of the people are different, you know, on our sideline and their sideline. So it's a new game, but it is an incredible program, an incredible atmosphere for both teams. I mean, this is a showcase of recruiting. Kids all the way out in Cali and all over the country want to come play in these kind of matchups. So that's the most important thing. The biggest difference is a regular season game. It has a bunch at stake to see who's going to be in the lead and who's going to start trying to secure one of those playoff spots. But in the SEC, we got a ton of games after this one. They do, and we do.
Kirby, Kane Womack now the defensive coordinator. You know, you're used to going up against coach's scheme. What stands out for Carson and Mike Bobo and this offense and this matchup? What they have to be able to do to have a good night?
Well, they play really good defense. They're very sound in what they do. The players understand the defense. You can tell they execute at a high level. They play a lot of guys. So they are very fresh and able to play into the fourth quarter because they've got depth. And they've done a good job in the portal, bringing, you know, two really good players in the secondary that have played for them and done a great job. So, you know, for us, it'll be we got to establish the run. You have to be able to run the ball in this game to take some pressure off of your quarterback. And I think that's critical for us today.
Coach, you got two great coaching staffs. You have two excellent teams. What do you think is going to determine the outcome of tonight's game?
The players making plays in critical moments. You know, you can always go to turnovers. That's as long as it is history. But at the end of the day, the teams that are explosive, and they've been very explosive, and defensively we've done a good job stopping those explosives. But the game comes down to how you respond to the momentum swings in the game. And the crowd makes it a little tougher on the road, but who responds well to adversity is going to be a long way into determining who wins.
One team that has not allowed a touchdown this season, those Georgia Bulldogs. Kirby, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks a lot for joining us. And it's
we
Kirby
appreciate
Smart,
you, Kirby.
Two-time national champion.
Enjoy.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks.
Bringing his Bulldogs in here tonight.
They only boo the great ones. You know, I mean, Coach Saban's he gets booed everywhere he goes, right? I mean, that's an honor. That's Tuscaloosa.
Exactly.
It's an honor.
Hey, look at the special guest we have here in Tuscaloosa. Joining us on College Game Day, not just big game that everybody's excited about. Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, the bosses are here. Those are some great signs and great outfits out there with Mickey and Minnie. Jess?
Reese, I'm back with Drewski, and we got Xander, who's about to kick for a $65,000 of Pat McAfee's money. But
no pressure.
Before we do that, let's talk about no pressure over here with you. You played soccer, right?
Yeah.
And you played football.
Second grade. I played in second grade.
Okay. So, have you ever said anything negative about a kicker?
Nah, I didn't.
Not a baby, Drew.
Well, I'm glad you did. Because it's going to be a little embarrassing. He's been stressed. He's like, this looks like 50 yards. Are you sure?
Yeah.
You got to show Xander.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I got it.
Xander, let's go. Hold it for him. He's been stretching, y'all. He's been stretching.
Come on, Drewski.
Pat, is this one and done, or are we going to allow a number 2?
Well, I got to check the win.
Oh, God.
Smart. He just chugged a yellow hammer, too.
Let's go.
Hey, if Drewski puts this in, I'll donate $50,000 to something.
Donate $50,000 to me. One more try. No. One more. I want the $50,000.
Listen, you know who's going to get another chance? Xander's up next for $65,000, so don't go anywhere. Let's go.
Bad hole, Drew. Bad hole.
All right, we're done.
We're not done.
You need more boxes.
Fast.
I can fix that fast.
Fast fixes with Phelps.
That's why you're the GOAT.
Mr. Swimming.
Human dolphin.
Or Michael.
Delivery at the speed you need.
This isn't one of those sad, fits in a petite paper bag kind of value meal. This is Arby's $7 double meats meal. Big boy bags only. Arby's, we have the meats.
USAA for the military community and their families.
Cut. Sam, I really need to feel that USAA service. Gronkier.
Grunkier. USAA. You could be eligible if your spouse, parent, or even your grandparents served.
That was it. You're in.
As a veteran, I'm already in. You? I wouldn't get your hopes up, son. USAA. Are you eligible?
Businesses work best when they put people first. Your dedicated Cintas service reps help make sure your team has the essential products they need, where and when they need them, to help keep them looking great, feeling confident, and ready to be their best. Get Cintas.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hey, Scott, this stuff's perfect for fall, right?
Yep, it feeds your lawn now to strengthen roots all winter for a better lawn next spring.
How do you know all this?
Says it right there on the back.
Yes, it does.
Download the My Lawn app today for lawn care tips and customized plans.
Feed it, lawn. Feed it.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision, sweat, sacrifice, and teamwork. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in their game. Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises.
Hey Lexus, show alternate routes.
Technology that's ready for the road ahead. The Lexus NX.
The Fun 99 menu, always $1.99 each.
Consumer Cellular is lowering the price for those 50 and up. Get 2 unlimited lines for $30 each. That's just $60 a month. So switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage satisfaction. Visit consumercellular.com today.
The real advantage you had is they were a little tired of my ass. We got 2 incredible programs battling it out. It's a glorious day for college football here in Alabama.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, road tested, game ready. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear is more driven.
One of the things that happens here on the quad, we come to Tuscaloosa, the crowd grows, the signs come along. Nick he's teased Desmond to take the shirt off sometime.
I don't think Miss Terry is going to allow that. No, she's not going to.
Maybe that should be the wager. Between the two of them, Miss Terry's going to be our guest picker.
I like that.
Of course, Pat pulled off one of the great picks of all time at the SEC Championship game last year. Now he tries to give away money with a field goal contest.
Yeah, Reese, life is amazing here in Tuscaloosa. This is Xander Aponte from South Jersey. Xander, have you ever kicked a ball before, pal?
Yes, I played soccer for 12 years.
12 years of being a soccer player. Okay, so you have a chance here. Have you ever said anything negative about a kicker before?
Of course.
What do you mean, of course? What are the things that you've said? You've said it's easy and all that type of stuff?
It's easy. It's no different than hitting a soccer ball.
Okay, well, we're going to find that out. Drewski, obviously, you gave him a terrible hold earlier for $50,000. Right. Anything to say to Xander before he attempts 65 rounds?
I'll just say, man, I played in second grade. I know a lot. It was a church league, but, you played 12 years. So, Blitz, Bama, Blitz! Yeah! Don't give a piss about nothing but the tide!
Roll Tide.
All right, Xander, Herbstreit will hold for you here. Yeah. It'll be a great hold, unlike what you did for Drewski earlier. The football gods might punish you for that. $65,000 on this glorious morning into your pocket.
What are we feeling here? You feel he's got
a shot? 12 years soccer player.
No pressure.
Drewski likes it.
I played in second grade, so I typically know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and he almost had a shot. He pulled it a little bit.
It was the win.
Bad hold.
It was the win.
Terrible hold.
Terrible hold.
By this guy.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah, you're good?
No pressure.
Okay.
Feeling pretty good.
Okay.
He's $65,000. But you want to say, roll.
Tide, roll.
Sounds nervous.
I got it.
He looks nervous.
Roll, Tide, roll!
Thank you, Drewski. Thank you for that. You might want to stand over here.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, you're in play over here. Yeah. Just be ready. You're in play.
Soccer player Xander Aponte from South Jersey. Business major. Good business would be $65,000. Time.
Oh! It lined up.
I think he needed to back up and give it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Come on, Pat.
One more.
Give him a shot.
One more.
For $100,000 on this Saturday morning. One more for Xander Aponte.
I think you need
Drewski, get that ball, pal.
Give a little more.
Good hands.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
Hey, 12 years of soccer player. Kick that thing. Let's go. We want to make a magical morning. Georgia, Bama, September, Tuscaloosa. All eyes on Xander Aponte. $100,000.
How many steps should he take back?
100 of them.
2 to the right.
You should take more than most kickers do, even though you've talked trash on kickers before. You were a bit weak on that particular attempt. I think you should be trying to run at this thing like a kickoff. Put it through.
There it is.
100,000. Hey, hold on. Drewski, anything to say for 100 racks to Xander?
Blitz, Bama, Blitz!
That's
Don't
right.
give a pip down that running time!
100,000, Xander.
Let's go.
Do it
Hit
for your
this thing.
family.
Oh!
No good. Hey, Xander, stop running your mouth about kickers. Drewski, great work. Herbstreit, great hold. Reese, back to you.
Hey,
money
hold,
stays in my pocket, which is a good day, obviously.
Boy, I almost threatened to match there, and I'm glad I didn't as that thing got close. Jackson Dart and Ole Miss taking on Kentucky at noon Eastern time. Stylish, dynamic, leading the nation in passing and total offense because he can get things done with his legs when he needs to. And certainly we know that's the case for Avery Johnson in Kansas State against Oklahoma State because every offense wants a dual threat quarterback, as Nick talks about in the film room. There are a multitude of ways to incorporate quarterback runs, as you know better than anyone else. Scramblers are dangerous. We've talked a lot about RPOs in the film room. But there are times when you just want the quarterback to be the ball carrier.
Well, when the quarterback can run, especially when he's athletic like a Jalen Milroe, you create tremendous problems for the defense because you can actually design plays like this play. This is a quarterback draw. Now, you can incorporate a pass with this, and in this case, they're running a smoke pass. But you can see here that as soon as this guy leaves the box, Wisconsin doesn't have enough. We have 7 to block 6 on offense. This guy's going to go through here. He's going to be the extra guy to come through. He's going to block this. He's going to come up on the backer. So got a hat for a hat, +1, which the +1 is 26 coming through the line. He's going to block most dangerous, so you have an explosive play.
Then you come back and you have one that he can read by reading the end man on the line.
Right, and this has no RPO, nothing built into it. These receivers are going to come out here and block. 45 is going to bluff. This is the guy that he would normally block. He's going to bluff him and come on the perimeter, which will make that guy close, thinking he's got to be able to squeeze the run. Jalen reads him. Now he comes out. We got an extra blocker. Receivers are doing a good job of blocking on the perimeter. Have another explosive play.
What about when you get close to the end zone then? Why is it even more effective there?
Well, down in the red zone, I think when the safeties get closer, they can play the run better. So when you build in the extra blocker, again, instead of 26 getting the ball here, we're going to go in here and block these folks. We got an extra guy. We're going to get up on the backside backer. So again, you're going to create the +1 player with 26. Now you got numbers advantage. Quarterback's going to run. But here's the issue. This guy's not just a runner. This guy is a really good passer. He's a good scrambler. So he can beat you in so many ways, but this is the way that makes it really difficult for the defense.
And we've seen that exemplified time and time again, and probably will tonight when the Crimson Tide takes on Georgia. Numbers that Milroe has put up on the ground since the start of last season, more than 1,000 rushing yards when you take away sacks, and 18 times he's made it into the end zone. He's made it a habit of throwing touchdown passes, multiple touchdown passes, and scoring more than one time on the ground. And it'll be a challenge tonight, Kirk, for Georgia and Alabama to square off, for Georgia to deal with Milroe.
Yeah, I think it is. You look at Lamar Jackson in the NFL and what they've done with Coach Monken to build that system. And guy can run. You got to get an extra hat up. But this game tonight, you just talked about the offensive side. Can we talk about the SEC matchup last year, the championship, with you and going up against this Georgia defense?
We're actually reading this outside backer here. So if he goes up the field, all right, this is read, sweep, Q power. You mentioned Lamar Jackson. It's exactly the play they beat Dallas on at the end of the game. The guard's going to come around, block the backer. We're going to get up to the backside backer. Now you got to try to get Jalen on the ground. If 17 stays on the line, he's going to hand the ball off on the sweep, so you make an explosive play. This is what we call peanut butter, where we're going to fake a quick pitch.
Yep, fake
you
the
got
toss.
The pullers coming, so see how the defense, both linebackers and the safety, are over pursuing because of the fake and the pullers. Now, Jaden's going to come back and hit the counter up inside, which is where you want to hit it in the A gap, which is right up behind the center. And now he's going to run for explosive play
Coach,
again.
could that potentially, depending on the blocks here, could that potentially go out? I know you wanted to get there, but is he responding to what happens in front of him there?
Right. We're not really reading this play.
Yeah.
This was a setup call, quarterback run. But you could do it that way, and that was an important first down at the end of the game.
Now, here's the third down. It's the third down spy that we're going to see at some point. Not just one spy. They're using two spies because of the speed. Three-man rush.
But what these two backers do is they eyeball the guards, so you don't get any double teams, so three-man rush is effective. But these two guys are spying the quarterback. Georgia's playing man-to-man in the secondary, makes the quarterback hold the ball. They make him step up in the pocket, where it makes it easier for these two spy backers to be able to make a play on them, and it's effective here. It works.
And if I'm rushing tonight, I don't want to get too far upfield where he can step up and potentially out, right?
Well, you do it two ways. You break the pocket one way. Like when we used to play Elway, we would make him scramble to his left because he couldn't throw the ball as well. So this guy would actually come underneath, and that backer would scrape and get him when he scrambled. They're trying to make Jalen step up here because both rushers are going wide. You really don't want him to get pushed by the quarterback, but they don't want him to take off running sideways either.
Same third down. This time, instead of man, they're playing zone behind it.
Playing zone. Now, two different guys are the two spies. 32 in the inside backer. They're playing zone, so they give up a zone because you're really using five guys on a rush, even though you're only rushing three. We hit the void in the zone, which is the middle hook right here, and make an explosive play.
Puts this guy in a tough spot because you can't cover this guy and this guy.
That's right. And this guy's playing that guy.
Yeah, and Jalen's deciding what to do off of what this guy does.
Right. The way I'd like to do it when I was coaching was we only spied the quarterback when we were playing man-to-man because of the voids that get created in zone.
Just like that. Do you see them tonight playing with, they're going to spy? Are they going to play, you think, more man? Or you think
if you don't let 5 guys against Jalen and press the pocket, you better have somebody spying him if you're playing man-to-man.
Yeah.
That's right.
We got going here.
Nice scarf.
Yeah.
What's going on? This is from the Ball and Bama Cowboy right over there. It's a bit hot, I will say. But everything you're talking about on the offense is sweating. Yeah, it's very thick. This is faux fur. This is not a real animal that died here, but the Ball and Bama Cowboy certainly has dressed my shoulders up a little bit. You can feel it here. But Jalen Milroe, everything you just showed right there, not only does he have 2 spies on that particular play in the SEC title game, anytime they do this, you have to freeze a linebacker or a safety too. It opens up everything. It is the pivotal point of current football.
Doesn't a dual guy like that make you, like a Lamar, you can only do so much in coverage when you have a guy that you have to account for up in the line of scrimmage, even in the run game.
Right. Well, I think that Georgia really likes to play man-to-man, just like we like to play man-to-man here in the past. So they're going to have a spy on him, or he'll make big plays running against you.
Man-to-man means back turned to quarterback.
Great problem there. We know that Milroe's going to have to make plays for Alabama. For Alabama or Georgia, who's a guy maybe we're not thinking about you think could be an X factor tonight?
Well, I don't know if you're not thinking about him. I just think because he's young, I think that Ryan Williams, 17 years old, Kirby said whoever can handle the momentum changes and shifts, that's who's going to be successful. I think a young guy just out there having fun, playing the game he loves, not really concerned about the momentum changes. I think Ryan Williams can be a guy to keep an eye on tonight.
I think the X factor potentially is the Ball and Bama Cowboy and all these people.
All these people.
Whenever these teams play each other, it's on a neutral site. Normally, it's either in Atlanta or it's a college football playoff game. Now Georgia has to come in to a rompous environment that's going to be playing Dixieland Delight. Carson Beck has played in big games, obviously, but he's going to have to handle it. And it's quite an advantage for Alabama and the home team, I think, today.
I think if there's an X factor for me, it's Georgia. Defensive line has been an issue because of their injuries. Michael Williams is trying to come back. Game time decision, number 13. Can he come back? They have Hall coming back. They have Brenson coming back. So I think the Georgia defensive line, if they can hold up the depth, because I think it's a line of scrimmage game, I think that could be a huge factor in this game, Georgia up front.
Well, I think whoever can run the ball usually has the best chance to win this game. Not only does running the ball impact the down and distance, it affects the play action passes, explosive plays down the field, and all the things that you can do to make plays with RPOs. So the line of scrimmage and who can run the ball is going to be the big X factor to me in this game.
Coach, you got a little pointer. I got a big old pointer.
Keep an eye on Arian Smith. Arian Smith from Georgia makes big plays in big games. 50-yarder against Alabama, 76-yarder against Ohio State, 50-plus against Tennessee. Speedster can get it done, and there will be one guy who is for sure locked in to watch this game, Jen Latta.
That's right, guys. Let me let you in on a little secret. One of the very best things about college football, and we celebrate it every single week here on College Game Day, is these folks, the fans. It is the passion, it is the knowledge, it is the unconditional dedication to their team on display day by day, week by week, year by year. And this week I caught up with a gentleman who has been going the distance for the Tide for more than 50 years.
Some of the greatest endeavors boast very humble beginnings.
Crimson Tide, open the season here in Birmingham, Alabama.
I've been asked many times, does it get old? And it doesn't.
For Alabama fan Tommy Ray, it all started with a radio.
In 1960, I would hear on the radio, Alabama comes out in the red jerseys with white numerals, and I would just lay on the porch with that radio to my ears, just thinking, I wonder what that would look like.
For 3 years, the Huntsville native says he could only imagine the scene at Denny Stadium. But in 1963, when he was 15, Tommy was invited to his first Alabama football game in Tuscaloosa.
We got out of the car and I could hear that crowd, and I just sat and marveled at those crimson jerseys. I get emotional thinking about it now.
Tommy got to 26 games here and there over the next 9 years, before attending the season opener in 1972.
So I went to the first game in 72, played Duke, and I remember thinking that night, man, I want to go if they're playing this week. So I'd look at the schedule, find out where they go, and I'd go see it. And I remember sitting in the Cotton Bowl Stadium January 1st of 73, and it just suddenly hit me. I went to every game this year.
And just like that, a tradition had taken root. Week by week, season by season, with every ticket punched and every program purchased, Tommy began an improbable and sensational streak.
I made it very simple. I said, the decision is, are you going or you're not going? And if you're going to the game, don't worry about the details. You're going.
For the last 53 years, Tommy Ray has attended every single Alabama football game, both home and away.
Anybody in Tommy's life understands that if you have something on a Saturday when there's a football game, he's not going to be there. We don't have season tickets.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Most of the time, we would go to the game without tickets, and he would stand out with two, fingers in the air, and he would buy tickets.
When it gets down to how much money, whatever the number is, it was well worth it. I'd spend it again.
The streak itself is not the important part. It's the memories, it's the people that we meet, it's the things we get to experience.
Alabama football, in my opinion, it's the greatest.
While Tommy says his favorite game is always the last one, every game brings him right back to the first one.
Right before we go in the stadium, you can see this expression that he has. It's almost like a little boy being there the first time.
60 years later, every time I go in, I'll catch myself looking down toward where I sat that day, and the emotions and the thoughts and feelings come back from that day. The feeling that I had in 1963, I'll never betray that 15-year-old kid and what he felt.
From Pasadena to Philadelphia, Miami, Madison, and everywhere in between, even Hawaii a few times, today will mark the 664th consecutive game for Tommy Ray. And he is here with us today on College Game Day. How do you feel about that level of commitment to the Tide? Certainly do. I understand, Tommy, that you have met every single Bama head coach since Bear Bryant. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Except for one.
Coach Nick Saban.
Coach Nick Saban?
What?
Yes, ma'am.
We know Nick Saban.
Yeah, we
He happens to be right here on College Game Day. Coach Saban,
Make that happen.
can we make Tommy's day?
Tommy, how you doing? Good. Appreciate your support for all these years, man. I wish I could have won 600 games in a row.
You won a bunch. Thank you, sir. I just want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for making this one. He is the difference. And I would like to thank Coach Nick Saban for everything he does for the University of Alabama, the community, and especially the church community. We're very thankful. The university is very thankful to have him. And I just want to give thanks to Rick Carley for keeping this insanity alive. And a special thank you to my brother-in-law, Kenneth McQuarrie, who walked me down that embankment in 1960.
Took you to your first game, right, Tommy? We are so happy to have him here with us today. A true and dedicated Alabama football fan. Guys,
I'd like to say thanks to Jesus Christ and Nick Saban. I love that. I love Alabama.
Oh, man. It's a good reminder of what it means to so many people. Will there be an Irish exit for Notre Dame in terms of trying to make the college football playoff? Big game with Louisville coming up. And also, who's going to be the better prognosticator in the Saban household? Miss Terry will join us, and LC with the headgear pick.
Atlanta. Here we go again. Only 328 days after a national title game on the same field, Georgia up 14 points in the third quarter. The QB who'd broken their CFP heart went down to injury. This time, it was a former starter turned backup, turned hero, who wielded the Crimson Dagger.
Jalen calls his own number. He is to the goal line. He is in. Touchdown! Jalen Hurts!
Coach Gecko!
Coach G. Laura, Dan, I didn't realize the media would be here.
No, this isn't for work. We're just really big fans.
And we're scouting for our fantasy insurance teams.
Geico has all the top prospects, a 97% satisfaction rating. That's unreal.
Oh my gosh, it's Drew! Drew! Smells like insurance.
Suppose Geico does have devoted fans. It's not weird.
Jade, sign my arm.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
She only signs claims checks.
The new Dunka Latte is perfect.
Made with coffee milk, which is hard to explain.
I'll say...
Is that Kristen Wiig?
All we need now is a famous person to say how rich and creamy it is. And delicious. And explain it.
The Dunkin' way to latte.
When you pull on a pair of Tecovas boots, good times are sure to follow. We've got the perfect pair for a hard day's work, a night on the town, and just about anything in between. Find your pair at tecovas.com.
Daryl Dixon, I heard you were dead.
Not yet.
I'm looking for a friend of mine.
Isabel and I were talking about the three of us going back to America.
You do whatever it took to find him.
Sometimes you gotta be willing to throw the first punch.
With CarGurus, filter millions of listings to land the perfect deal. If only you could do things your way all the time. Imagine that. Get it with Gurus.
On a hyped-up Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
All aboard the hype train!
We're going all the way!
Woo! I heard this hype train runs an ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
And the hopes of overly optimistic fans.
Hey guys, check out my new tattoo.
We are so winning it all!
Even the national media agrees.
And they're never wrong about anything.
Oh, wait.
Our quarterback got injured in practice.
Okay, everyone off the hype train.
Well, that didn't last long.
College football, it's a Pepper thing.
Big Ten, it's an honor to be here. To be among teams with so much tradition. Age-old practices from generations long ago. We'll do our best to keep up. With respect, Oregon.
If itty-bitty value meals from other places could talk, they'd talk like this.
If Arby's $7 double meats meal could talk, it'd talk like me. Arby's, we have the meats.
A top 5 matchup in Tuscaloosa tonight. Georgia and Alabama. Been moving around a little bit, the Crimson Tide. Has been a regular season underdog since 2015. They've been a home underdog since 2007. And Georgia coming here and knock the Crimson Tide off tonight and continue their quest. Brutal road schedule for the Dogs. Good signs out there. Some other honeymoon.
I love that. Love ball.
Your LC once said that. LC said the dog is ugly.
Save it for president. I was trying that last night. I just want to let everybody know.
He was my write-in. I'm telling you, I did the write-in. Put him in there last
No way. If not him, Miss Terry might be.
Who else you going to vote for?
Miss Terry, maybe.
Miss Terry? Yeah.
In the ACC, team that's in contention stepping out of conference play. Louisville taking the bus up to South Bend. Cardinals 3-0 had a big win over Georgia Tech last week. Got a blocked field goal to do it, but with the weather, had difficulties with the flight. Hopped on the bus 4.5 hours or so. Yeah, they are in South Bend, ready to go. So this is some strength versus strength here. The Notre Dame defense against Louisville. Tyler Shuck, who's been playing well. Maybe Thamel's going to tell us they could get another weapon back in Colin Lacey, the wide receiver transfer from South Alabama. Notre Dame and Louisville in what is a huge game for the Fighting Irish.
The Cards are flying high again and just toppled top 10 Notre Dame.
When you lose to a certain team one year, maybe when you're supposed to win, you're going to be prepared and go above and beyond to make sure it doesn't happen again.
It's a redemption game for me as well as all these guys. So they got a lot of skill, a lot of new faces around their program. Really well-coached team. So it'll be a lot of fun to go out there and compete against those guys.
Watson stays on his feet to the house for the touchdown.
I think they take a lot of pride in running the ball. And what you do when you're able to run the ball is create some opportunities to throw explosive plays down the field.
Fires, intercepted, and Aiden Schuler has the pick.
The secondary, two outstanding players, corner and safety, and the others that are really good.
We know it's going to be a dogfight, and we're going to come bring the smoke.
Look at those Pro Football Focus grades, and that Notre Dame secondary is ultra elite. You heard Riley Leonard talking about redemption. When he played for Duke last year, Louisville shut them out. So it's not just Notre Dame, it's him too. He's only had one touchdown pass this year.
Yeah, it's incredible. And it just looks like he and Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator, came up from LSU. It just seems like they're still trying to find that identity. The receivers still are trying to find ability to get separation. Look for Mitch Evans, the big tight end, to get more involved today. But you're right. Louisville is kind of an underappreciated brand for whatever reason. Last year it was Plummer at quarterback. Now it's Shuck. They just have an ability. He's just one of these quarterback coaches who knows how to communicate and find a way to attack with the guy that he has to work with. Going to be tougher. He hadn't turned the ball over yet. I think that changes today on the road against that Notre Dame secondary.
Well, he's done a great job at quarterback for the offense, but they have a really talented group of receivers who have made explosive plays. But the thing that's been most surprising for me about Louisville is their defense, man. They play great up front. They've been tough to run against. They create a lot of negative plays. The question is, Notre Dame's going to play good defense. They've been great on third down, red area, but can they score enough points to outscore a team like Louisville?
Yeah. I'm excited to see, and Braum is a phenomenal coach. And let's talk about the Penn State-Illinois game a little bit here. And it's a whiteout in Happy Valley. It's going to be an entirety thing. And this Illinois team, 4-0, obviously. And Bielema is a guy who's going to build through the trenches. Last year, they were a running team. Quarterback now, Luke Altmaier has 10 tuds, no interceptions, 2 wide receivers from the transfer portal, Pat Bryant, Zachary Franklin. They're doing it all. And on the defensive side, they've been able to win games, obviously. 2 weeks ago against Kansas, they give up 186 on the ground. Look out, Penn State can move it. Then against Nebraska last week, they get a win, 297 through the sky for Raiola. Drew Aller can do his thing. This Illinois team's going to be tested, but I think they're kind of built for it. 19.5-point dogs.
Yeah.
I think that's where Bielema wants his team going into Happy Valley.
No, we'll find out. We'll take a look at the road test presented by Goodyear, and Illinois has one. Do you hear what Bielema said this week? What did he say? They're doing, he said, they're calling for wide-out energy, whatever the hell that is. Bert's coming in there like chest out. Okay. 10 takeaways, 7 picks. You know? They forced some fumbles, got some of them, obviously, but not all of them. But I tell you, Illinois comes in here sort of feeling itself a little bit.
He's about to F around and find out. Penn State offense that I've been watching, a lot of fun. Andy Kolonicki came over from Kansas, very creative. You're going to see different personnel groupings, different formations, and you listen to the players and say, we're all having fun because he has us all involved in the offense. Let me show you what Illinois' defense is going to have to contend with tonight in Happy Valley. Now look at this play. It's a diamond formation, right? We talk about 2 tight ends, 1 running back, but they're going to shift. Okay, so Drew Aller comes out, and now you got 44, the tight end. Tyler Warren is the quarterback. So he's in shotgun formation. They're going to pull the right guard, make everything look the same. He's going to RPO off the defender at the top. The defender at the top takes a swing route, he sets his feet, and then he runs a power right down the throat for a first down. Now, later in the game, the same exact diamond formation. They shift. You got Warren at the quarterback position again. He's 6'6", 250 pounds. This guy isn't going to throw the ball, right? Same action. Right tackle pulls, lead blocker, but this time they're going to RPO off of that defender. He stays in the box. Watch Warren. He's looking out. He flips it out to Nick Singleton for an easy touchdown. He constantly puts defenders in conflict where they can't make the right decision. I love what I see from this Penn State offense. This is going to be a great game tonight in Happy Valley. I can't wait.
It really is. The explosives are amazing. What are they, like 19 plays at 20 yards more in 3 games?
They didn't have them last year. That was a quarterback in high school.
Well, that's the whole reason they hired Andy Kotelnicki, because they couldn't get any explosive plays last year.
Yeah, it's a fun offense now.
He's not afraid to bring the funk. They're doing all kinds of stuff.
Speaking of funk, fun stat here we found out this week, the back room. Penn State's only 11-8 in these whiteout games. You would think it would be a lot.
Wow. I think this is just the whiteout energy as opposed to like the actual whiteout.
Yeah, we actually played in one of those whiteout games up there, and that was one of the 8.
Thamel's back, bringing whiteout energy, bringing the energy of the check down. What do you got, Pete?
Well, we have Quinn Ewers, Reese. He's going to miss the second straight start. Texas has a bye next week. Oklahoma after that. Expect Quinn Ewers back for that game. Arch Manning makes his SEC debut against Mississippi State. In this game here, Michael Williams is going to be a game-time decision, a true game-time decision. He'll go through warm-ups, and the Georgia staff will make a call whether he returns from his ankle sprain, which he suffered against Clemson. In the Louisville game, Reese, as you mentioned earlier, Colin Lacey looks set to make his first career appearance for the Cards. He's a star wide receiver who transferred from South Alabama. He's been dealing with an injured collarbone. Quincy Riley, the DB for Louisville, is doubtful for that game today against Notre Dame. Colston Loveland is on the field at Michigan. He's warming up. He's not on the injury report. He's going to play. Will Johnson did appear on the injury report. He's questionable, but he is out there in warm-ups and looks like he's going to give it a go for the Wolverines.
All right. Great insight, great news there, Pete. Will Johnson with that huge pick 6 against USC last week. This is what you have coming up top of the hour. We've talked about Avery Johnson. Wildcats at home trying to bounce back against the Pokes, doing the same. Former Georgia quarterback Brock Vandagriff leading Kentucky against Ole Miss. How about Blake Horvath in the day he had against Memphis coming through and win? How about those midshipmen? Drew Cronick, that offensive coordinator, dialing up some ball plays. You see BC also.
Somebody liked that game last week.
Really?
Blake Horvath.
Are you sure?
I think you got off to. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Winning is easier when your road game is ready. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear is more driven. And still to come, there is more to talk about. The XO factors, Georgia and Alabama. Carson Beck, what must he do to maybe create some more explosive plays? Because you know Milroe is going to deliver some for the Tide. And America's couple, Alabama's couple for sure. Miss Terry, Nick Saban, head-to-head, and LC with the headgear pick. It's all coming up. And now, from Baumhauer's Victor Grill, we got some food here, right?
They hosted the Nick Saban Show for 17 years.
Right here.
The Saban Show is a good show.
They got this carrot cake for you, Coach.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Fried banana pudding.
Hey, what's up, man?
Banana pudding and blackberry cobbler.
Are you kidding me?
Look at
Just
this.
for you.
Carrot
That's
cake.
gorgeous.
Hey, Bob. Des, how you doing, man?
Carrot cake.
Carrot
Good to
cake.
see you, buddy.
See, to me, carrot
My
should
carrot
not be a
cake.
cake.
It's the buttercream frosting.
What's up, man?
My favorite.
And voted best wings in Alabama last year.
This isn't one of those sad, fits in a petite paper bag kind of value meal. This is Arby's $7 double meats meal. Big boy bags only. Arby's, we have the meats.
Ion. Electrified. Hanguk Tire.
Military veteran and USAA member Sam Elliott, I'm Gronk, your new roommate.
Roommate?
Mm-hmm. Wow. I've been trying to join USAA for years.
Gronk, you know it's for the military community and their families.
I know I can't join, but I could live in your house and ride in your truck, both USAA insured. Roomie?
Roomie. USAA, auto, home, life, and bank.
Who just picked up Buffalo Wild Wings Go? The Hankster!
Hank!
What?
Jimmy already got B-Dubs Go.
Yeah, Jimmy already got B-Dubs Go. Jimmy already got B-Dubs Go?
Jimmy already got B-Dubs.
Okay, Jimmy already got B-Dubs Go delivered. But did he get 10 free boneless wings?
Yep.
No!
Open your eyes.
deserve better from your phone service. At Total Wireless, we're fixing that. No more hidden fees. No more surprises on your bill. You deserve to get it all, and that's exactly what we'll give you. Find your local store at TotalWireless.com.
Whatever you're into, Mercedes-Benz has an SUV for you. City shopping spree you. Weekend getaway you. Outdoor adventures you. Stylish, powerful, sophisticated. Because when you're in a Mercedes, you'd expect nothing less. Mercedes-Benz SUVs featuring the GLE plug-in hybrid and the all-new GLC plug-in hybrid. Visit MBUSA.com for special offers on select SUV models.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment.
Did you know your new favorite burger has hand-smashed patties made to order, hot and melty cheese, and a tangy sauce? How rude of me. Let me introduce you. Try the all-new Double Sonic Smasher and at a half-price drink in the app.
That should hold it for now.
What should we do?
I know what to do.
You do?
I'm going to CashNetUSA.com. I can apply in minutes, and if approved, we can have the money in our account as soon as the same business day.
You're my hero.
Saving the day is easy with CashNet USA.
When you need money fast, be the hero. Go to CashNetUSA.com to apply for the money you need now.
The past is always present on nights like this. History is inescapable.
When you have success, it only lasts for a few moments.
Looking down on you. And moments like this don't happen every day. It's out of my hands for now. Here in Bama, the values run deep. Out of my hands for now.
There's an expectation, but I don't expect to fill Coach Saban's shoes.
I can't just walk away.
Every player knows the Georgia-Alabama game's impact on championships.
The game is over. It's what we remember that makes us stronger.
Georgia conquer the Crimson Tide.
Success is never final.
Touchdown! Alabama wins!
Georgia knows.
Alabama breaks. Georgia hurts.
It's what you do now.
You gonna take what belongs to you.
Now I find in the style rise. And all the believers stand behind and smile. Rise to what's next. As the game lights up in fire. The storied rivalry burns crimson and red. It's out of my hands for now. Another chance to rewrite history.
You always have to be ready for the next challenge.
So let me in.
Dave Matthews?
It's rivalry, not one that's, born of tradition or contempt or real disdain. It's because of excellence, competing for championships. That's what has everybody revved up here on the quad in Tuscaloosa this morning, awaiting this game. Georgia quarterback Carson Beck had plenty of reasons to pass on the NFL draft last year, despite the fact that he was a near lock to go in the first round. He had a healthy NIL package, got himself a Lamborghini, and there was also the NFL history of guys with as few starts as he's had, the success a little bit spotty once they got to the pros. But the main reason unfolded in the locker room after the SEC championship game, where Carson Beck came back to try to win a title and get another shot at the Crimson Tide.
Beck's going to take it from the left side. Touchdown. Put 6 on the board for the Dog.
Carson Beck, we know what he is as a passer. He's accurate. He's dynamic that way.
He's a vet. He knows where to go with the ball.
Carson, just the way he handles his preparation, he handles everything like a pro.
Brought down. He is sacked.
It's one of those hard physical defenses.
The scheme is a little bit different than a year ago because of a new coach, but I think the mentality is similar.
They're starving to go out and make big plays any given series, any given drive.
It's hard to drive the ball methodically down and score on them. I think you've got to be able to hit some shots. You've got to get some explosive runs. They're well coached defensively.
Just had that relentless attitude all the way to that clock, hit 0 4 quarters, baby.
Old Dominion best in the game, and this rivalry, there certainly hasn't been anything better than this. As you look at big plays here, 20-yard plays this season for the Georgia offense. They've had 16 of those, still sort of middle of the pack in that category. Really huge plays. Georgia hasn't had one longer than 50. Alabama's only allowed 3 plays of 20 yards or longer. Georgia's passing it almost 60% of the time, but a lot of it's really short type passes. You look at this dog offense.
Well, I think Georgia's still looking for playmakers, on offense, which receivers are going to step up. They had Bowers, they had McConkey. Those guys were mismatched players. Somebody's got to step up for that to happen. But, Carson Beck is back. He's a very good quarterback. He's a great reader of defenses. And, when this guy can get set in the pocket and throw the ball, he's so accurate in what he can do. So, we have some – you're going to talk about their defense, but I think Carson Beck's key to this is – and I'll show you on the film.
Here we go.
Where this guy has got a clean pocket here. He can make all the throws. You're going to see him set up. He's got a clean pocket. Lawson Lucky, number 7, is going to run a really good 7 route, but you see the throw, the delivery, the timing is all there. All right, then they're going to have a little play-action pass here. Again, you're going to see he's got a clean pocket. So there we go. Quick decision, throws it right now. Another explosive play. And then I think this is the key, especially down here. Here's a back shoulder throw. This takes really, really great accuracy. He's throwing that ball to one place the receiver can catch it away from the defender, and that's been very effective. Now, I think the key to the drill is, can you affect Carson Beck? Can you make him move off the spot? Here you see the rush sort of gets him off the spot, make him scramble. He's athletic, but this really does affect his accuracy and his decision-making, and you see there's a positive play for the defense.
Think about it. He's 6'4", but I don't know if people realize you just showed him move, but a bad decision to throw back into the teeth. You must have said 4 times there when he gets his feet set. Right. And I think that's what you're saying is Alabama's going to have to come up with ways. Number one, they got to be physical at the line of scrimmage. Keep in mind, Georgia has a new center this year. They lost a great player, and the right guard, the veteran of the bunch, isn't playing in this game. And they're coming into this environment with a new center and a new right guard. So the line of scrimmage, we've talked about it for 3 hours. Who's going to win that? Alabama feels very good about what they can do in Coach Womack's system. First of all, Tim Keenan in the inside. He's dropped a lot of weight, made a big jump this year. Look at them eating and not just occupying linemen, but getting off of blocks. Can they do that tonight against this Georgia offensive line and keep ETN contained? Coach Womack calls it a swarm defense in his 4-2-5. Eyes on the football. They'll sprinkle in some zone, try to be able to rally to the football, try to, again, mix up looks to try to confuse Carson Beck back there. Now, they've not shown a ton of pressure. They haven't had to. Most of it has been simulated, where they show the edge, looks like they're coming. They drop. Middle linebacker ends up coming. Gives enough for the quarterback to feel pressure, and then he gets out of there, and they get a spy to be able to take care of that. I don't think that you're going to see the same approach. I think the first 3 games have been one thing. Tonight, it's going to be a very different animal. Coach Womack is a guy, if you look at his history, guy that usually likes to dial some things up. You might think there might be more pressure that they try to apply in this kind of game. They haven't needed to really dial that up. Tonight, they will.
Yeah, I think this is one of those games when you break tendencies. Like, they only add pressure maybe 17% of their opponent's dropbacks. I think they're going to add pressure. They're going to have a spy on Jalen Milroe to make sure he doesn't hurt them with his legs. And they're going to have to give extra attention to Ryan Williams. The 17-year-old receiver averages almost 29 yards per catch. He's a guy they're going to have to make sure they give extra attention to. But defensively, I think they will be up for the challenge. It's going to be a dogfight tonight.
It absolutely is. And I think the defenses are going to show out, both of them. I think they're going to show out. And you talk about Alabama's defense, they're number 1 in the country on 3rd down. So if they get you off schedule or off point, they're going to attack and they're going to do it. And then for Georgia, on their defensive side, If Michael plays, obviously that's a bigger deal. Malachi in the back, though, he has a snap at every single position, including Mike linebacker. He causes full disruption. I think the defenses are going to potentially steal the show tonight.
Well, I think the one thing that's going to be really critical in this game for Georgia is Alabama's played a ton of man-to-man, 102 snaps of man-to-man in 3 games. If they don't have a receiver that can separate and get on top of these people, they're going to have a hard time.
Yeah.
Malachi Moore, that you mentioned, expected to be able to go tonight. He got banged up a little in the Wisconsin game. Steve, who are you picking? You picking this game?
Well,
week? He's on such a heater. He's picking this one.
Right? Everybody's just talked about, obviously McConkey, Bowers. They don't have them. What you've seen, though, is the difference in third down. In the last 2 years, they were top 5 in third down, Georgia was converting. Now they're 71st at only 39%. So I love the idea of the defensive line. Those guys have improved for Alabama, and Keenan and Otis and Smith. Overton's been really good. That's the difference. I think that 60 minutes of those guys, that Alabama defense, Alabama wins the game.
Whoa! Hey! The one thing, and Steve and I have talked about this week, with Georgia ranking lower, remember on offense, they played Clemson and they played Kentucky.
I got it.
So some of those are a little bit skewed. Oklahoma State and Kansas State kicking off immediately after College Game Day. There's Alan Bowman, got the reset against Utah, came back in and gave them a chance to get back in the game when Garrett Rangel came in. Didn't go great. I assume we're going to see a lot of Bowman today for Gundy. There's Avery Johnson.
Yeah, they got to do a better job. The coach talked about it after he made the pick of Kansas State, how this team imploded, really self-destructed on the road against BYU. I'm sure it's been a very focused week for Kansas State. Keep in mind, Oklahoma State and Bowman and Kansas State, both these guys had a difficult conference loss last week. Now, who's going to be able to step out of this, get some momentum built? Who's going to have 2 straight conference losses?
Well, you just had that shot of DJ Giddens, 0-star recruit, now NFL prospect. Speaking of NFL prospects on ABC, Jackson Dart leads the nation, total offense, passing offense, by more than 30 yards per game on his closest competitor.
Yeah, a lot of people think this is sneaky early kick in Kentucky. Again, a team that you just can't figure out from one week to the next. Competed against Georgia. Wouldn't shock me at all, even with their top corner down in this game, if they're able to compete on an early kick there at Ole Miss.
Vandegrift, very talented guy, the former Georgia quarterback that they're trying to get going.
Wait a second. It's
Reese.
Oh, no. Oh, Pat, we got to get you going, buddy.
Yeah, congrats, Reese. Way to go, brother.
Anchors away, my friends. Lee Corso.
Super dog, Washington State minus 6.5 at Boise State. Boise is nationally ranked for the first time in 7 years. Washington State has 2 chances, slim and none. I'm going with the slims. Washington State upsets Boise.
But it's the little brown jug here with Michigan and Minnesota. I don't think Michigan's going to lose this game, but after such a big win, and Minnesota couldn't look any worse last week, perfect time for a competitive game here with an early kick in Ann Arbor. Minnesota can hang around there.
So, Lee, I'm going to use your statement. Not so fast. I'm taking Washington State. I think they've been very productive all year, so I think they're going to continue. And Boise State's a good team, but I like the points.
I picked Washington State.
Well, guys,
I picked Washington State.
I guess we're going to make it a trifecta. I picked Washington State, too. And this just follows my counter algorithm, guys. So maybe you guys are starting to pick up on some things.
No one's talked about Maryland having a chance in this game. That guy, Ty Felton, 41 catches already, over 600 yards. Indiana's got all the shine, went out to the Rose Bowl, got a win, came home, got a win. I got Maryland.
Go ahead, Reese.
I have South Alabama going into LSU. I'm getting 20.5. Last time South Alabama played, they beat App State by 1,000. I'm hoping that continues down into the body.
Major Applewhite. All right, that's quite on the set.
Well, you know what? They're begging you. They're saying, I know Shedeur Sanders' first-round pick. I know Travis Hunter's the best player in college football. They're saying, we're going to give you 14. Please, please, please take Colorado, they say.
And you took them.
And I took them.
Amen.
I'm going with... You know what? I'm not convinced on UCF at least outscoring that. R.J. Harvey, I know. KJ Jefferson. Those are all the super dogs. Boy, it was really popular to pick Wazoo as a super dog. But
Yeah.
Hey, off of 3-0, kind of feeling good. Jimmy tells me yesterday 3 people are on Washington State. I'll make
So you're
this
going the
easy.
other way,
I'm
right?
going the other way. Jimmy Boise.
Very smart.
Get a little competition.
There you go. Maybe we should all look to someone else as our paradigm of hope when we're making picks. Wheels Up makes sure that we get our celebrity guest picker here every week. I think Wheels Down probably suffices this time, Jeff.
Of course the sun comes out for Miss Terry. I mean, this woman is so loved. The chanting, the signs. I mean, Miss Terry, how does it feel to be a fan at these games instead of Coach's wife?
Well, Jess, for 50 years, I've been coming to college football games. But the difference is we were coaching, and Nick was a coach. So it was much more stressful, a lot of pressure. And now I can enjoy the fans, the band, even a hot dog.
Oh, yeah, always yes to a hot dog.
We were never able to tailgate, and now we can.
And now you can. Wow, and so I understand that you helped create a lot of game day traditions. Which one is your favorite?
I have a couple of traditions that I love. We have a great band. So I love pre-game when they do the elephant and they play Tusk. Da, 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 da. And then the Tusk goes up, and then everybody cheers. So it's good luck.
Well, absolutely beautiful. Well, guess what? Coach said earlier this week that he's very nervous that you're going to pick better than him. So he's ready now. So, Coach, she's coming up to the stage. We'll see you right after the break.
It's a real live boogie and a real live hold down. Don't be
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these today.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
The new Dunkin' Latte is perfect.
Made with coffee milk, which is hard to explain.
I'll say,
Is that Kristen Wiig?
all we need now is a famous person to say how rich and creamy it is and delicious and explain it.
The Dunkin' way to latte.
You know, Coach Prime, it's nice to finally have some free time. Gives you a chance to reflect on the important things.
Like how Aflac pays people money for the expenses health insurance doesn't cover.
Health insurance does leave a gap.
But Aflac gives people money to help close that gap. Oh, Coach Prime got one on the line too, baby.
See, that's how you hold up a trophy. Trust me.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover.
Aflac
Is an official sponsor of ESPN College Gameday.
I hope y'all hungry.
I'm glad I brought my own dinner.
Let's unretire. Why not?
22, on you. Let's go.
I'm good right here, bro.
If itty-bitty value meals from other places could talk, they'd talk like this.
If Arby's $7 double meats meal could talk, it'd talk like me. Arby's, we have the meats.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light, choose chill.
My new boyfriend. So sweet. Look what he just sent me.
Ooh, that's a lovely view.
Huh?
What are you two looking at?
Tip pick.
What did you say?
Tip pick. Tickets to the show with no hidden fees.
TickPick, the only major no-fee ticket site with the same seats at better prices.
College Gameday is built by the Home Depot, how doers get more done. And in part by Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly.
Stick and move now, boys. Stick and move.
See, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? A lot of people think about Miss Terry in Alabama. No one more than Nick, and he's been thinking a little bit more about Miss Terry over the last couple of days because now there's something on the line. Right here. Here are the standings for our celebrity guest picker. Dawn Staley continues to lead the way. Sheamus in week 0 in Dublin hit 3 out of 4. Everybody else has struggled.
We're going to keep him up there with 4 games now. All right. I love
Sheamus? Why would you take Sheamus down?
No, keep him up there. It's 3-4 games.
Nice, 20 Guinnesses.
For 17 years, the Sabans defined Alabama football. Everyone knows what Nick did, but what Miss Terry has done in terms of creating a fan experience, building a relationship with the players in the community has been instrumental in the growth of this entire area. And we're delighted to have you here. And I don't know, are you dressing in mourning because you know you're going to put his picks in a funeral here after this? Is that what we're going here?
I don't know why Nick is so worried about my picks, although he keeps wanting to see them.
How about her keeping it close? She's like, he's worried about my
But
picks.
he's just that way. He's very competitive about everything.
That guy?
So
No.
But after 52 years, I know if she wins this, it's going to cost me something.
Well, let's get started with the Saturday selections brought to you by Coors Light. Across the state from here, in the loveliest village on the plain, the Auburn Tigers welcome in Oklahoma. Who wins it?
I saw the quarterback struggles. This is not going to be a popular pick here, but since Hugh Freeze is going back to Peyton Thorne, I think they get it done. I'm going Auburn.
I saw Oklahoma's defense last week, and I was very impressed with that. And until Auburn gets their quarterback straightened out, I got to go with Oklahoma.
Okay.
you looked over my shoulder, didn't you? Yes, you did. Look, I know Oklahoma has supposedly a lot of players out. Yeah. I don't care if they have 20 players out, Auburn's going to win. Oklahoma's going to win. Oklahoma's going to win.
Miss Terry here, 2019 cover model for Birmingham Magazine. Saw it last night at the house. Beautiful place. Great meatballs, good pasta. You're the best. I'm agreeing with whatever you say today. Give me Oklahoma. To beat Auburn today.
Yeah. Oklahoma's got a new quarterback, Haskins. That kid, he ran in the game. He plays. Oklahoma wins it. The Sooners bet him.
Boy, Hawkins gave them a spark last week. He was keep in mind, they got some injuries. Top 5 wide receivers down for Oklahoma. Hawkins' ability to get out of trouble will help them. Auburn's played well enough to win. They just turned the ball over. 14 on the year. I think they get that right with Peyton Thorne. I'm with Dez. They'll hate me. Auburn beats Oklahoma.
Carolina gave up 70 to James Madison last week. Now Mac Brown, Manny Diaz together again, Carolina and Duke.
Yeah, Carolina was embarrassed a week ago, but I think they bounced back. I have UNC beating Duke.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how North Carolina does respond in this game. But I know there's a lot of issues there, so I'm going to go with Duke.
I really like Mac Brown and his wife, and I agree, Desmond. I think they're going to rebound and rally and win the game.
Not so fast, Miss Terry.
Hey, who?
Give me Duke. I like Malik Murphy.
It is an important win for the Brownies. You got to get this one. Upset Duke.
You're going Duke? I'm going
No.
You're going North Carolina.
Upset the Duke.
The Brownies. Okay. I'm with you. I'm going to go with you and Miss Terry. I'm going North Carolina. Des, you have North Carolina as well?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm with all 3 of you.
Let's go.
Yep.
Go Duke. Louisville, Notre Dame.
I think Notre Dame wins this game, but Louisville covers. Very close game, so Notre Dame wins.
I like Louisville in this game. I like Notre Dame's defense, but until they can score more points on offense, I'm going to stay with Louisville.
2 close teams ranked 15th and 16th, but I think touchdown Jesus is going to make the difference. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Amen. I like that you two are watching your own film in 2 different rooms at the house making these picks. I just want to let you know I'm a big fan of that. Beautiful home, by the way. Thank you for having us there. Yeah. And I heard Tommy earlier said he wants to give a thank you to his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and Nick Saban. Nick Saban's here. I'll take Jesus Christ. Give me Notre Dame winning over Louisville.
Never go against the Irish.
Never go against the cat.
Sweetheart. I'm with you. I think Louisville is a dangerous football team. Tyler Shuck doing a great job in this system with Jeff Brom. I just think that Notre Dame at home, losing last year, showing up with a chip on their shoulder, I like the Irish.
All right, ABC at noon, Kentucky and Ole Miss.
Oh, wow, I got Ole Miss big on this one. I didn't even know. I'm like, are we going against the spread or what? I got Ole Miss, yeah.
Get the win.
Lane was really comfortable on the show earlier. Ole Miss big.
Ole Miss has had a lot of weapons, scored a lot of points. Until somebody can prove they can slow them down, you got to stay with Ole Miss.
I love Lane Kiffin's aggressive offensive style. How many times did he go for it on 4th down against us in dangerous territory? Ole Miss.
A lot of moxie out of Lane Kiffin. I heard your husband and he had some great interactions. Told some of those stories last night over dinner. It was amazing. Kentucky obviously played Georgia phenomenal. They had a couple of tough losses against South Carolina and Georgia. They blew out Ohio last week. I wonder who they are exactly. I don't know if they have enough for Ole Miss, but UK might be a team at the end of this.
Ole Miss wins this one. Offense, they
have 670 yards of offense per game.
Yeah.
And I think that continues. Kentucky has their corner down. I'm going Jackson Dart and Ole Miss.
Okay. Doc, Ben, Tommy, Terry, this might be the most diverse college game day in the history of game day. So many animals.
Here we go. And simulated whiteout energy, Illinois, Penn State.
Yeah, because the whiteout energy, I'm going to go with Penn State, but I think it's going to be much closer than the experts think. But Penn State will win.
I think Luke Altmaier has done a really good job for Illinois, but I also think Penn State, team-wise, defensively, overall, physical, I got to go with Penn State.
I just love State College in the fall. It's near where we grew up. And, again, the whiteout is tremendous in Penn State.
Earlier today, I said that Pat Bryant was a transfer into Illinois. He was actually brought up through the program. They bring in Zachary Franklin, though, as a weapon for Altmaier. I think this Illinois team is phenomenal. Not good enough today, though. We are Penn State. I think they get a big win tonight.
Hey, I agree with you. Penn State, because they got good players. Real good players. I think Penn State.
Boy, it's fun to watch Brett Bielema transform an Illinois football program into his personality. They're playing great defense. They're winning the turnover margin. They're doing all the little things. And Luke Altmaier, who you talked about, is just being incredibly efficient. So I'm with Des. I think they're going to hang around in this game with playing with that kind of chip on their shoulder. Penn State at home, tough to beat.
BYU after that, and that's dangerous.
Yeah, that is
BYU, big win against Kansas State. Baylor, the heartbreaker against Colorado. BYU unbeaten. Who you got, BYU or Baylor?
Yeah, I'm believing BYU. I like their brand of football, so I'm going BYU big.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the quarterback, Jake Retzlaff, that guy made a believer out of me last week, so I'm BYU in this one.
Same here. After the big win against Kansas State, I think they're going to continue, and BYU.
Amen. Continue it. I'll take BYU. They scored like 21 points in like 2 minutes last week. I think they can continue to build on that, and very mature team.
Sorry. Miss Terry, not so fast. BYU's got a good off defense, but they were playing in Waco. I think Baylor.
It's official. You're now officially on the set here, getting that not so fast. It is crazy.
Not so fast.
You usually say somebody knows something that I don't know. This feels like one of those games. BYU, a huge win last week. Baylor, a huge loss at the end of the game. Baylor's favored. I'm going against the somebody knows something. I'm going with BYU.
Now, we said they're begging you to take Colorado, getting 2 touchdowns against UCF. Who wins the game?
Yeah, I'm going with Colorado. I think their offense is going to score enough points to win this game. Because you know that UCF is going to slow it down, but I like Shedeur Sanders. They're going to win.
UCF's going to run the ball, shrink the game, limit Colorado's opportunities. I'm going with UCF.
Against our good friend Dion? Really? He texted you this week and said what a great job you were doing.
Wow. Coach. Unbelievable.
I got your back, Dion. Colorado.
I, too, am picking Colorado to get a massive win because they have all the tools you would potentially need. On the offensive side, they can keep up with anybody. Can they get off the field with UCF? Andy, the Aflac Duck was sitting over there. Got me feeling pretty good about it all. Give me Coach Prime in Colorado.
UCF and that school's in beautiful downtown Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
I live in there. UCF, you crazy?
Yeah, I'm with you with UCF. R.J. Harvey, going back to last year, 5 straight 100-yard games, 375 a game on the ground. I think the line of scrimmage and the bounce house there in Orlando, beautiful downtown Orlando, I'd like them to win that one.
Well, they've been really good there over the last 7 years. See if Colorado can change that. Also in the Big 12, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, both a little desperate now.
Yeah, the Cowboys, they cannot stop the run. They're terrible on defense. They cannot get Ollie Gordon going. So I'm going with Kansas State.
I'm going to just go with Kansas State as well. I just think they made so many mistakes in the game last week that are all fixable, that they're going to be a really improved team this week.
I have always believed that the best running game is also the best defense. So control the clock. So Kansas State.
To your point, Oklahoma State hasn't been able to get Ollie going. Bowman has his problems. Avery Johnson maybe has a nice learning lesson last week against the Mormons. Give me Kansas State as well.
Miss Derry, that was a wonderful wonderful speech. I'm taking Kansas State.
I thought we were not so fast in right there. I thought it was going.
According to my calculations, you guys have disagreed on 3 games so far. What I can't wait for is that graphic to come up the rest of the year, and up the top it says Miss Terry. As a reminder. That'll be fun for Coach. I'm going with Kansas State. Oklahoma State, believe it or not, Ollie Gordon, that offensive line has struggled. They're not running the football that well. Bowman back in the spot. I think Kansas State at home wins this game.
Kirk, you could have.
That's it. I'm sorry.
And then the one in prime time here in Tuscaloosa tonight.
What's it down?
You know, with the new 12-team playoff, that tempers the intensity here. There's no trophy ceremony after this.
Baby.